Hello and welcome to the Velkyn Weave, where a bunch of us nerdy artists, analysts, engineers, writers, and performers get together and play 5th edition Dungeons & Dragons. So glad you're joining us tonight. I'll put that character away and maybe they will come back later. Depends where we go tonight. If this is your first time watching, the Games Tavern welcomes you. Don't forget to follow the Games Tavern on Twitch. It's free, supports the show, and all the cast and crew. You can watch us live on Twitch, and all shows are uploaded to YouTube. If they're uploaded, that means there was an editing issue, and that's on me. If all the shows are uploaded to YouTube, typically 48 hours later, and eventually they will be available on podcast outlets throughout the world. We'll get rolling shortly, but first, some announcements. Michelle?
So I'm not going to do a voice because I filled up my quota for bad accents on Saturdays. Big thanks to tabletopaudio.com for providing tonight's music, ambiance, and sound effects for the show. You can use Tabletop Audio in your own campaigns by going to tabletopaudio.com and choosing from over 230 music and ambiance tracks. Number 231, Icebound Town, was just released, and it's perfect for your adventures in the new Rime of the Frost Maiden adventure book, or any frozen part of the world. Or check out the sound pad and options to create your own custom sound pad. We think so highly of tabletopaudio.com that we are Patreon supporters, and you should be too.
And remember, if you have Amazon Prime, you also get a free Prime Gaming subscription, which you can use to show your support to the show, cast, and crew. Prime Gaming subscribers get access to more emotes and also access to a special subscriber-only Discord channel.
And with that, let's get on with the show. When last we left our intrepid heroes, the Velkyn Weave were venturing through an area known as Turling's Woods. For those of you that follow us on Patreon, we talked about how that can be found in various editions of Dungeons & Dragons in the High Forest. It was a wood protected by the Emerald Enclave and their many awakened shrubs and trees that live there. Prior to entering the wood, Rinian felled one nemesis known as Tybalt d'Avignon that may return at a future date, and they managed to find their friend, Thelgalos, the Flying Disaster, playing a game of chess with the Grand Treant himself. Before they escaped, though, they were pursued by Crisaro, the Castellan of Lin Armal, Cloud Giant extraordinaire, who is now one dead mother effer. The party bested him in combat and removed his magic bracers from his hands and have traveled by magic circle to the far south of the Sword Coast, a land known as Amen, A-M-N for those of you following on a map, where they are headed south to the Snakewood. So this is south of Baldur's Gate. They're going to travel through the Snakewood, and they're going to approach Drellin's Ferry and hope to save one Blanche Lafayette, who's being held by hobgoblin captors. Our adventure begins traveling through the Snakewood. The Snakewood has multiple names. It is known as the Snakewood. It is known as the Witchwood, for it is often described as an enchanted place. The afternoon sun has been beating down on the party. The air is hot and still in this day. It's a monotonous day full of tedious travel. As they are passing through the forest region, their eyes come to a dusty grove with a shallow dell in the middle, a very clear path to travel through. They see on one side, to the south, the glint of a farmhouse, kind of reflecting the light of the sun. They've probably passed half a dozen of abodes that look like this in the past day. But they see on the eastern bank of the woods, they also see sunlight reflected off of what could only be viewed as armor. And with that, we're going to move into our character monologues and then initiative. So it's going to be a juxtaposition. So as always, our characters have a chance to earn some inspiration, which will probably help them in the coming combat, for it is a dire and dour deadly encounter. Weighted in favor of the heroes, I hope. So what we'll do is we'll go around, and each player their prompt this week is the storm that gathers, and they'll sort of explain to us how our character feels and reflects upon the idea of a coming storm. And the order we'll go is Rinian, Bope, Doliris, Quinton, and Eldon.
Storm, the ozone. And do not worry too much upon it. I enjoy it. I enjoy the beating of the rain upon the outside of my armor. The humidity, the warmth. Also the cold, the ice, the snow when you're in the north. Storms are nature's fury at its best, and I find them refreshing and contemplative.
Well, not a acolyte of a nature deity, Bope. I grew up in the forest, and when growing up without roofs over your head, storms become a way of life. And there's a certain, well, I won't say calm. There's a certain comfort that comes with storm. The sound of rain on the leaves high above, pittering, pattering, creating puddles below. Sometimes raging, sometimes quiet and calming. There's something in storms that reach deep into my soul. Remind me of home.
So I've always rain is kind of a mixed bag, rainstorm mixed bag for me, because on the one hand, the water brings out all the stink of Waterdeep. But on the other hand, it does help everyone sleep better to hear the tink, tink, tink of rain on the roof. Some of the children are kind of frightened by it, but I bring them around, and then they do sleep better. So overall, we like the storms. They're pretty and terrifying, but also useful.
I do not like storms one bit. I grew up underground with a nice rock ceiling, 1,000 feet over my head, safe and secure. So, thunderbolts and lightning and rain, it is maddening. And I'm more chatty than usual, spouting out dragon facts, and just you can't shut me up. But, it's nothing important. It's just got to vent somehow, and talking keeps my mind off the fact that the sky could fall down on me at any moment.
Yep. Told him it was going to rain. Well, it'll be all right. Take care of your gear. It'll take care of you. As long as I don't lose my hat, I'll be able to make it. Keep it pretty water resistant. So, well, get ready. It's coming.
You're okay, Tom. We're different characters.
I didn't know whether he meant figurative storm or literal storm, so I was preparing a different answer.
That is up for you to decide. I'm going to provide a prompt. Then
Ready to go.
You're going to get inspiration as long as you participate. Hickory dickory dock. The storm. Get killed by a rock? I don't know. So let's go ahead and roll some initiative, and that'll be that. And then we'll get into combat. I have already pre-rolled for the opponents.
Too busy adjusting my hat. 4.
Oh.
This is just like the last one. I got a 6.
Suspicious.
21. Thank you, D&D Beyond.
Wait, have we had a rest since our last?
Nope.
session?
You would have had a rest.
Oh,
You would have had a long rest.
all right.
I was like,
Just making sure.
Oh.
Yeah, I was a little tapped
It has
out.
been at least a day since you came out of the magic portal, we'll say.
Get my spell slots back then.
that's a lot better.
Yeah, because if you didn't have them, we'd have fun rolling new characters for the rest of the session and reminiscing about the Fallen. Because while the encounter is charitable, it's not.
Dolores
not that
died so young.
So, 20.
Nice.
What's your okay? What's your dexterity?
1.
12 or 13.
12.
Okay. Someone else has 20, and you will be going before them
Ooh.
because I'm going to give you the tie. So we have 20, 21, 6, 4, and what was the last one?
14.
14's pretty good. So what you see is coming from the east side. This is so there's a little farmhouse, and we'll see if I can paste this guy over here. This isn't what it looks. It's hobgoblin, and a group of hobgoblins are coming out of the woods, and they're charging you. There's 4 of them, and they're just hobgoblins. Unlike the other ones you met, they look tall and strong, and they have the red hands, but their blades seem to be standardized, as well as their armor. They don't seem to be a hodgepodge group of misfits. They do seem like they are used to operating as a unit. They are coming out. However, they will not act first. First action goes to Quentin.
About how far away are we? Ish.
Those are roughly 5 foot squares. So what I would say is I would assume the party, so 5, 10, 15, 20, 20 about 30 to the closest one. And this is going to use some abstract positioning. Essentially, if you can get to one of them, you can be engaged. You'll go from nearby to engaged or be far away.
Okay, I am going to call upon the Shadowfell energies that course through me and the silent image invocation. And I want a 15-foot square of fog to kind of create. And at the top of it will be Chrysaro's face, kind of looking out of it. So it looks like, the cloud giant has appeared and surrounded himself with cloud.
Oh,
with
interesting. I like that. You'd
And
be great at parades. Like,
I've been blackballed from them.
There was an
Don't ask
incident.
questions.
It was Triel. I can't talk about it. It's a legal thing.
There's an NDA. It's
Yeah.
So that is my action, and then the closest hobgoblin, I will snap Hex with a bonus action onto him.
Okay.
And I'm done.
and Rinian is up next.
Well, having come down the road, kind of enjoying the trek. Being ambushed is not fun, but when Rinian's ready for that, of course. So he'll go ahead, pull sword, and charge right in. Getting to about there, we'll say. And engage the first one.
Yeah, the southernmost one. So go ahead. Has Rinian fought hobgoblins before?
Outside of at the thing?
In any of your sessions? You know that they're armored essentially, and so they're a little harder to hit than
Sure.
High AC.
17.
It is a miss. It comes, but the hobgoblin sort of steps out of the way, raises his blade as well to meet you in combat. But I'm sure you have more attacks than that.
Yes. Second attack. I'll just.
It's not a
move
good
along.
sound.
Moving along.
What happened?
In the water. Drinking the water, boss. Drinking the
Water
water.
hazard.
I missed.
Okay. Hobgoblins are up, and they come around Rinian.
We...
And each of them is
I have
going to
them
make,
lined up.
yeah, each of them's going to make an attack. You're like, all right, we've got him.
Ooh. Better him than me.
Hold on 1 second. I've got a.
He's got that shiny new ion stone making him More.
Yeah, it's going to be very, very helpful. So,
Boy, one more.
come on, dice roller.
What?
Yeah, sorry, it's going slow over here. All right, here we go. Hey, it goes. So, 19 to hit.
Yeah, on the money.
Oh.
How much for the
All
extra
right.
AC?
Missed it.
So that's going to be 11 points of slashing damage, followed by an additional 7 points due to the martial advantage. For you are in an ally, within 5 feet of an ally of the hobgoblin. And the next hobgoblin swings, gets an 8. The next one swings and gets a 5. And the next one swings and gets an 18, which I believe is a miss.
That is a miss. There's the ion stone.
And
Victory.
and at that point, you see an arrow come out of the woods on the other side of the bank. 21 to hit.
See an arrow? Wow.
Sharp
Yes.
eyes.
So up there where it looks like there's a giant Eldon, I think. An arrow comes out of the woods. So 21 to hit. It would be 4 points of piercing damage, followed by an additional 7, taking advantage for a total of 11 points.
Rinian has weathered that first storm so far and lines them up and calls for Bope to unleash hell.
The giant Quinton icon was roughly where I thought the fog illusion and cloud giant head might be.
Oh, that's nice. I was just like, Eldon grew big today.
He's been eating his Wheaties.
And just know that that illusion is having an effect on other things right now.
Good.
I would hope so.
So we're going to move through initiative. It's my job to do that. So we've moved from 21 to 20. And I believe the next one, there is an unseen 20. The next one is going to be the 14.
Yeah. Okay. I will point at the dude who hit Renian. Sorry, names are difficult today. Don't ask me why. The Rage of Tamora burns you. Give me a DC 15 Dex save from him, please.
DC 15 dex
Yes.
save? 20. Which is pretty good since he's only got a +1 modifier.
Yeah, I feel better about that now. Actually, I do a little bit because that means next time we'll probably get him.
Next time.
Yeah.
Maybe.
And these are, you can tell, these are not like uncommon hobgoblins outside of the Red Hand. They're pretty by the book. The other ones you fought previously looked like they had some additional training.
Mm-hmm.
And with that, we move. Is there anything else you have that you're doing? Any bonus actions or movement?
No. I see no reason to move.
All right. Well, at this point, that entire area becomes clouded in fog. The entire area, Rinian and the other hobgoblins are. For purposes of visibility, it is now heavily obscured, and everyone in the cloud are considered unseen attackers at this point.
Uh-huh.
Thanks.
We can't
so-
see out.
Yeah, so it's simply Rinian and the hobgoblins. You also hear a sinister and infernal howl, similar to my stomach with the Carolina Reaper peppers. Just it calls out like the sound of just an animal that has been tormented. and it calls out from the distance.
Spooky.
And with that, we're gonna move to, I believe, double check. Eldon, you were a 6,
I was 4.
or was Bope a 6?
Oh,
Okay.
I was a 6.
Yeah, so 6.
Okay.
It'll go Bope then Eldon.
Mhm.
I will skip forward in front of Delirus in the group, kind of looking over to the left where I saw those arrows come from. Do I have any vision of that, or is the fog cloud kind of covering everything?
So, the fog cloud is only covering those that are in the dell in combat. There is the massive illusion. You can definitely see some skewering, and there are some warriors over there that seemed, some of them had been rattled, and you can see that there's people there in the woods.
Okay. All right.
More hobgoblins, similar to the others.
Okay, multiple. Okay.
Yes.
Then I'm just gonna, since I can't exactly see in the cloud where Renyon is, I don't want to risk anything. I'm just gonna hurl a little bead of fire into the forest where I see the large group of congregating hobgoblins.
All right.
So
And
that is DC 15 Dex save.
Okay.
All right.
Right there, Joe?
they
Uh,
failed.
I mean,
Got
entirely
something
built,
for you. I got
entirely
something for
built
you.
to have a fireball thrown at me, but it's fine. It's okay.
I also did the math and wasn't sure I could hit you guys and the people in the forest. Let's see.
Oh no, Bope's burning down the woods.
Only you can start forest fires.
It's about to rain, right? And storming? That's what's happening here?
Well, actually, it was about to become less cloudy, but I can.
25.
Ooh.
How much?
25 points of fire damage.
All right. There are now 4 dead hobgoblins in the
Hey.
wood.
Oh,
on
yeah.
that side.
Worth it.
And with that, you see storm clouds gathering overhead up through the woods, because you're in the dell right now. You're not in the woods. Storm clouds are coming in. You can't tell if it's natural or magical, but the woods have combusted and are on fire on that side now,
Whoopsie.
and they're burning. It's not the worst fire you've seen. It may or may not spread, but it is pretty bad, which is useful for other reasons that you'll learn later. And with that,
Okay.
all right, Eldon.
Okay, since storm clouds are gathering, yes?
Yeah.
So if I cast Call Lightning,
Yes!
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 can I get the existing storm bump to the damage? There's an existing storm cloud. It gets an extra D10 of damage on top of the existing.
I would give it to you. Absolutely.
Yes!
Fantastic.
This is the greatest druid spell!
This is Call Lightning's great. Okay, yeah. So basically, take my hat off for a second. Just get ready for the rain to come down, and jam my staff into the ground, and my eyes are gonna like light up with sparks of electricity. And I'm gonna call a lightning bolt down on, well, the last place I saw Renyon, basically. And
Okay.
Renyon goes, eh.
That's going to be
You-
Rinian and everyone in there. Yeah.
You might want to throw that a little further.
what you were wanting, man?
I know,
I know I can hit
but
them all.
you're going to hit yourself.
No, I'm not.
No,
It's
you're
only
not that
5
close.
Get you within 5 feet of the point.
The 60 foot is the cylinder of the storm, not the lightning
That's
bolt.
one hell of a big
strikes.
lightning bolt if it
And
affects
everything-
60 feet.
Yeah, the lightning
smells
bolt
like
is
we're-
for
Pillar of
everything within
lightning.
range, yeah.
All right, let's
Okay,
get some
that's
damage
fine.
rolled and then see what
Yes.
happens.
Yes.
So is that a deck save?
All right, that is a deck save for them.
Yeah, you call it on me, right? And then it hits
Yeah.
everything around me.
What's the score they have to beat?
24 total damage. 14 was my DC.
I don't think Okay, so
You failed.
they did beat.
You failed, didn't
but
you,
even at
Renian?
half
I know, I
damage,
got a
think that-
21.
Oh, okay,
Nice.
good.
Yeah.
As Rinian basically ducks under the shield.
Mm.
He was
So-
expecting fire. Instead, he gets hit by a lightning bolt, so it's a little shocking.
Kind of fire.
Ah,
So what does your shield do for you, Renyon?
As long as I make the deck save and it's a half damage, I ignore it.
Nice.
It's basically
No.
shield evasion.
Yes.
At this point, the hobgoblins just all drop dead next to you. No one else can see this. You can kind of feel it because they're all just like dropping around you. And you notice the lightning storm begins to get overpowered by more clouds.
My beard's all like frizzed out.
yeah, like
From-
like
And you notice in that same location another massive cylinder drop from the sky, and Rinian, you're going to need to make another dexterity saving throw.
So is this at the end of? So this is still the first turn, right?
This is still the first round,
Oh well.
and yes,
15.
okay, so 15. I think that's enough. Let me double check. Yeah, 15's enough, so you'll take half damage.
Yep.
So you are going to take half of this. You are going to take half of 29 points of damage as
you rolled
an
it.
ice storm falls on you
It's
in
another good spell.
the area. Yes.
Oh.
That actually might be my favorite druid spell.
Fire, lightning, ice.
Everything.
Just
You come out as
cover them.
master of the 5 elements, just glowing.
Go planet. I mean, no,
Yeah.
wrong show. Never mind.
And with that, you see a pair of hellhounds come charging from the direction of the farmhouse. This is you can see the flames coming, and you know that there's a pair of hellhounds moving through the woods towards the fog, which is dissipating around Rinian at this point.
Uh-oh.
The storms are just blowing it to and fro.
wow.
Where are they coming from?
The farmhouse. So there's a little farmhouse. They're in the woods over there.
And where did
They're
the
not
arrow
yet
come
engaged.
from?
What's that?
Where did the arrow come from?
By near that giant Elden head. Whatever was in there is dead now.
Yeah, that's the ones that
Okay.
I blew up.
Torched
Torch. Barbecue.
barbecue.
From the burning portion of the woods over there. That's where it came from.
Yes.
I imagine the illusion is kind of pale and easy to see through now that it's been interacted with by fire.
Yeah, there were. I'll tell you this: multiple people interacted with it over there. Some of them were terrified and pooped themselves. Others were like, "This is a children's trick. Get into battle!" And then everyone started to burn. Most of the people that were complaining about their lack of bravery just they were charred. And this is probably the most entertaining combat this group of hobgoblins has seen all day. And with that, we are now back to the top of initiative with Quentin.
Okay. And I caught sight of the hellhounds bailing from leaving the structure, or is that too obscured?
Yeah. I'm pretty sure you can see them. They're covered and they're in the woods, and you can largely see them because they're essentially on fire doggos. And for the purpose of this combat, I'm describing them as two, but they act as one stat block.
Okay.
And no, there's no bumps or anything like that.
I will Eldritch Blast them from where I stand then. A 10 and a 21 to hit.
21
Okay.
hits.
That would be 7 force and... bonus action first to bring the hex over to it. And then, so 7 force and 2 necrotic.
7 force and 2 necrotic.
And that's about all I can do.
Is that supposed to be a hellhound or?
It's a hellhound, not a white. I didn't set up all the tokens for them because I wasn't sure how much I would use tokens for this and how much of it would be abstract chaos in the woods. It all kind of depends. Since you're all kind of staying right there, it's easy to just kind of drop them.
Glad we're making it easy for you.
Now,
One melee person.
Rinian, you get to go before the cluster of hellhounds.
Do I have any inkling at where the caster may be?
Make an intelligence check, history or religion or arcana. And I will describe it differently based on what you get.
History, sir. I got a 15.
You know that casters like to stay in structures that have windows. They usually drop prone by the window, stand up, look out, pick their target, then fall prone again.
Okay. Alright, cool. So, I'm going to, seeing as how I'm underneath an ice cloud, right? Or does it dissipate?
I believe that one is gone now. So you notice the storm clouds themselves. The call lightning's still there, but the ice storm is gone.
10, 30. Do I see the window?
Yes.
I misty stepped through it.
Cool.
Oh, right, he can do that now.
You're in there. There is a hobgoblin wearing robes, also has a red hand, and a large medallion with a dragon skull cast in bronze hanging from it. He has vicious tattoos across his face. And behind you is a rather large fella. He's the biggest, hairiest hobgoblin you have ever seen that has a sword carved out of what can only be described of the same metal that was used to construct that fragment of the bone and dod.
Ooh, they have loot. They have good loot.
Not what I'm thinking right now. but
Yeah,
sure.
that's not what I'm thinking about right now.
Surrender!
Okay. Then Rinian will use this time, seeing that he's going to need to fortify himself as he fills himself with holy healing power. And that's my turn.
All right. From that point on, the doggo is now up. I have old eyes. The doggo turns back around and runs towards here.
Okay.
We'll whistle, and it is going to, let me double check this. You need to make a dexterity saving throw.
Myself?
Yes, and the others in there.
A 19.
19 makes it. You'll take half of 21 points of fire damage.
I will take no damage.
Ooh, very nice. You're set up to take fireballs.
Yes.
And the doggo sort of breathes his fireball in there. You see one of the hobgoblins in there. The big one's like, no! And, just kind of, he's like, nah, down, Poochie. But you notice the one with the large dragon skull medallion holds up his hand. And he doesn't seem to be fazed by the fire in this instance. He almost seems to be like embracing it, like, bathe me in your flames, my child.
We don't keep shame in this house.
I wouldn't, but he's having.
And with that, we're going to move to Dolaris's turn.
I will move. Oh, damn, I already forgot. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. Okay, we're going to move up 30 feet. Can I see the hound?
Go ahead and make a. I'm gonna say you do based on your passive perception. So there's a lot of woods in there. There's a lot of obscure thing, but he is on fire. He's through the woods though. But I think with your perception, you can see him.
All right. It sounds like I don't have a clear shot of it though, even though I can technically.
No, he
see
has
it.
some cover.
Yeah. Okay. Well, folks, do you think he has a better will save or a better deck save?
Dex.
And he's got a better deck save.
And
Yeah,
so
that
this
was
is-
kind of, yeah, okay.
Wise. You know, the dog just kind of. I'm very wise.
Timur withdraws her blessing. Dong. DC 15 will save from the dog, please.
All right, sweet.
From the hell puppy.
Make it.
He did not?
Oh. Does he
You
lose
said-
his keen? He does not. Does he lose his keen hearing and smell? No.
It doesn't say anything about that, but he does take 2d8 damage.
Hey.
Oh no.
He was
Oh,
damaged,
no.
wasn't he?
No.
No.
Hound?
Not yet.
I don't think so.
I thought I pinged him with the
And
Eldritch Blast.
takes
Oh,
four.
You did
Yeah.
ping him with the Eldritch Blast. He
Ooh.
did take damage.
Good
Yes.
call.
Thank you for
Oh,
reminding me.
great! That's so great. That means because I rolled terrible on 2d8. Hold on.
Not to point, but I'm pointing at that dog and being like, "You tell them when you took damage."
Bad boy.
How dare you hide a dog?
That was better. 8 takes 8 damage, necrotic. Yeah. Teach you to be a hell puppy. It's not okay.
What's
I
that?
don't
The
think
whimper?
he has a choice. I think that's.
All right. Now, somewhat unfortunately, other folks have actions
No.
in there now.
That is not good.
What are you
It's a,
gonna do?
it's a thing.
Hazards of adventuring. Other people get to do things.
No.
The worm caller in there, as you hear them call him, the worm caller, points his finger at you, and I need you to make a dex save, Rinian.
For a second,
Aha.
I said death save. I was like, whoa.
You need to make a death save. This is how I like to play D&D.
14.
Finger, yeah.
I believe 14's enough. Let me double check. Yes, it is. You will take half of 27 points of damage. Something with lightning runs through, so it's lightning damage. Do you have
Is
any
it a
tricks?
ranged cast?
Let's double check. So it's not a ranged attack, but let's see what it is. Lightning bolt. A stroke of lightning forming a line.
Okay. No,
The range is self, and it goes
yeah, it's a
out
line attack.
100
That's
feet.
enough.
Okay. So he does that. And then the other gent in there is going to make 2 attacks at you with his cool looking sword.
It's just
19 to hit and 22 to hit.
Yep, that was hit.
Keep dodging. I'm
13, 9,
coming.
13, 9, and 7 points of damage.
So 13 plus.
13 plus 9 plus 7.
So 13
29.
Plus 60. Yeah. Rinia's still up. He's hurting, but he's up. Glad I healed.
It's gonna take me a bit to get there.
And
Die.
with that, we move to initiative 6.
Right.
I don't have a name there, so that's Bo.
Yep, that's me. So as I just saw my fireball followed by lightning clouds, followed by this snowstorm, and all centered around Renyan. So Bope was hurting.
It's a magical
forward.
day.
It's just holy birch bark, Renyan, who did you piss off? And then all of a sudden Renyan disappears, and he's just like what? And then
Wait.
there's the hellhound. Well, I didn't do that one. He's on fire. He's gonna scamper forward and grab his clench with his fist as a spectral hand appears at the dog's throat. Goes for a little lich slap, as we call it.
Now, that dog is all the way through the woods,
Oh.
and I believe you are all the way back, and you are down in the dells, so your line would have to go up the hill, essentially.
Can
But
I go?
roll a perception check or tell me what your passive perception is if you think it's sufficiently high. Sufficiently high in this case would be a 15.
Don't think it's 15.
You can make a roll for it.
Yeah, my passive perception is 12, but my
And for the record, just so you know, because you haven't quite seen how much you've done, you've killed about 9 people so far. Like, you have caused like a lot of hobgoblin deaths
You
today.
didn't know it, but you did it.
You just can't tell because they exploded multiple
I only-
times.
I only roll a 13, so I don't see the dog.
You can't quite see, but I think if you move 30 feet forward, I would rule that you could. If you just move
So
to the
I
top of the
use
hill.
all of my movement to scamper up this ledge here.
Yeah.
And is that's sufficient to lay eyes on the dog? All
Yeah,
right.
I'd say you see him if you move closer.
So
It's one of those devil bargains to bring you closer because you know I guess. No, I'm just kidding.
we'll go for the.
Man.
All right, that is a 23 to hit. Deal. Ooh, a good roll. 12 points with chill touch, which is necrotic.
Chill touch on that hellhound.
Mm-hmm.
Dun dun dun. All right. Brilliant. And with that, Eldon, you're up.
Alright. So I need to scramble out of the dell. Should have moved some last turn. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. About as far as I can get. My passive perception's 18.
Huh.
I'll say that that's
Cool.
high enough.
Wisdom.
Clearly don't have glaucoma.
Put that beep or something. Then I'm gonna drop my bear spirit totem first as a bonus action. Put that. Oh my god! I'm sorry.
No worries.
Put that over here in the woods, so that Renyon will be in the 30-foot radius.
Cool.
That means everybody gets a bunch of bonus hit points.
Sweet.
What is the bonus hit point?
Or temporary hit points, pardon me.
It is pertinent.
Is I had this. What did I do? Okay, 5 plus 11 temporary hit points.
Ooh.
I'm level 6. Yes, 11 temporary hit points for everybody
Did you
within 30
forget?
feet. I forgot what the exact number of points was. Yeah,
Oh, remember you said I am level 6, like you forgot.
forgot how to calculate those points. Then I'm gonna call another lightning bolt down to strike the doggies.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah. It can strike the dog. I was gonna say the people indoors, unfortunately, are indoors.
Doggies will do.
Yeah. All right. That's a deck save.
That is a dex save, 14.
He scrambles his doggo.
That is
Makes a save.
Boo.
no, it's
15
not.
to the hellhound.
23 damage total.
Wow.
23 damage is enough to incinerate him.
Well,
Nice.
I'm sorry, you still
There's
have
two.
half the 23 still.
Oh.
If only he rolled
they passed.
46.
I rolled 23 lightning damage. Pardon me.
Okay. He's still up. And he is angry as can be. However, it is not his turn. It is Quentin Stargazer's.
Save us.
Big, roaring
And
bear
Quentin
spirit there.
Stargazer will start by moving forward to get, I think, right behind Delirus, kind of on the edge. Can I see the hellhound from here?
What's your passive perception?
15, I think.
That's
15.
good enough. Yeah.
Okay. Then good old Eldritch Blast.
You most certainly saw where lightning struck.
Backlighting.
Let's see. 19 hit
It's very epic.
19's enough to hit.
for 2 force and 3 necrotic.
2 force and 3 necrotic is just enough to take that doggo down.
Nice.
Perfect. Okay. In that case, I will bonus action. Yes, dash and move up another 30 feet. And yeah, I'm done then.
All right.
Wasn't there a second dog?
I combined their stat blocks into one.
Ah. Yeah. I
There's
heard you say
technically more dogs, but they remain to be seen. And at this point, we move to Rinian's turn.
All right, so going to be doing some things. All right, so first, we're going to open up on the caster with a sword attack.
Punish him.
But I'm weak with low AC, he says.
With a
All the better to smite you with.
22 to hit.
22 definitely hits this guy.
It should.
He was so brave.
So first we'll do 9 magical slashing damage, and then Rinian will call upon Sylvanus's power to give a smite, doing an additional 11 points of radiant damage.
Ow, my baloney.
Making a second attack,
Told you they had loot.
getting a 21 this time.
Nice.
Dice
21 definitely hits.
Hot today.
Don't jinx it.
Yes, doing 6 magical slashing damage, and filling his blade with yet another rate. Is it once per turn? I can't remember. I don't think it is.
I think you can keep smiting as much as you want, as long as you
Yeah.
have spell slots. Yep.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking too. Yep. Nothing about a restriction. So that is another 11 points of magical radiant damage. Then Rinian is going to use his reaction. No. No, it is a bonus action. So he's not going to do anything. He is going to use his bonus action to then Misty Step out of there.
Ooh.
All right.
Nice.
Taking up a position inside of the bear.
Very nice.
I can get to you there.
Doliris, you're up.
Okay. Actually, let's see if I can, in fact, get to Renian.
Basically, he pops back into existence and then flips around defensively.
Where's your thing?
Inside the bear.
The extra Elven token.
Oh, okay. 5, 10, 15. Yes, okay. Run up and support grants you the strength to carry on the fight. I'll just slap you a level 3. I can't see your hit point total, but I bet a level 3.
Rinian looks very close to death.
I'm sure level 3 is good for you. Take 17 health back. There you go, buddy.
Start.
Oh, if you stick around, I'll slap you again.
Sounds
Any
violent.
other?
Sounds like a
Yeah.
catchphrase.
Any other bonus actions or movement, Doliris?
No, I'm gonna stay put and be the support and let other people do their damage.
All right. So let me double check this just to make sure I've got it right. So essentially, you're all more or less in the woods. You're all near the woods. And you're all within 20 feet of a point that is going to get hit by a fireball. So I need you all to make a dexterity saving throw.
Oh dear.
What's our bonus from having the paladin around?
+2.
That's very helpful.
Fantastic.
Oh yes.
I don't think I'm close enough to get that bonus.
Yeah, it's only 10 feet.
I almost rolled a 1, but I bet I still failed.
DC, the DC is 13.
Yeah, failed.
Yeah, I got 22.
21.
17.
Rolled a 9.
31 points of fire damage.
Same, Eldon.
Hail.
31?
Yes.
Ouch.
So
Rinian once again turtles and feels nothing.
Just back here
Feels nothing.
in the back.
Your spells do nothing!
oh,
Now,
there's
at this
temporary hit
point-
points.
When the fire clears, sorry, I'm hitting all the wrong stuff. You can't see any targets in the farmhouse, and
Those
we move
bastards.
because there's a window, but there's nothing at the window at this point. Let me make a roll because the blade breaker in there is going to attempt to do something.
This fight would be
Foolish?
very this fight would be very interesting if we were at level 7.
What happens?
Oh, your aura. Is that what you're...
Yeah, because at level
Yeah.
7, my aura says half all magical damage within 2
Yes.
of me.
Nice.
And I like these guys too because like the Hobgoblin caster has army arcana, so it's just like my allies don't take damage. I will just fireball us in here, and who cares? We just ignore all damage. And I was like, wow, that's cheap.
Boom.
Oh no! Oh no, you're fine. You're not taking extra damage. You see a portal opening up, like right next to Delirious here. And you like see the snarly snoot of a hound, and you see the portal shut on it, and it kind of looks around, whimpers a little, then sucks back in. It was a whiffed spell.
Did I get to boop the snoot?
You do get a boop the snoot. It kind of turtles away. That's
Worth it.
someone tried to use a scroll to summon a hellhound to leave you with while they are very clearly escaping.
Not today.
So, we're going to fall out of initiative since you can't see them, but you can choose to pursue them down and chase them dynamically, or take a moment to catch your breaths.
No, no
let
catching
me-
breath. Run. They
Kill
have excellent
them.
loot.
Listen to her. She's wise. I'm running through the woods.
Okay. We're going to move into... so anyone who's chasing is in this combat, and it's all of you. That's what it is. There were no opponents in sight, so any spells that Bope or Eldon would have cast in between, we can say that you did those, and then we're in the next phase of combat where essentially you've caught up with them. One of them is riding something that looks like a velociraptor, and the other one is on something that looks kind of like a rhinoceros.
No offense to the rug, but I want a velociraptor.
Wait,
Can I,
Nimble.
they have mounts?
can I
Yeah.
call my lightning down on him again?
At
Is
this
it-
point,
The
I could
velociraptor's
say
probably got a
move
bitch and
it.
deck save.
Yeah, we could, if you'd like to do a call lightning. Now, this is, you would have had to chase them and find them, because they're sly, crafty, have a number of spells, and can disappear. However, I assume you all would find them, not long after, because your Quentin's going, and they'll be like, well, he's here. We might as well keep fighting. But you had a beat to catch your breath, so you can go ahead and roll call lightning damage if you'd like.
Yeah, I can concentrate on it for up to 10 minutes, so I'm gonna hold that, yeah. Let's see how I do that roll.
Smite
That's,
them.
not
Drop the hammer.
terrible. Oh, that's pretty good. 27 total lightning damage. DC 14 is the save.
All right. They both made their save.
Ah, boo. Boo.
But at this point, it looks like they might be willing to raise a white flag, but it's up to you to decide whether or not you want to honor it.
I mean,
They're willing to keep fighting as well, but they're also willing to throw down
probably evil, and I do want their loot.
They believe themselves to be extremely evil.
You can take loot from prisoners.
They believe themselves to be evil? That's
They do.
interesting.
Like, yes, they believe themselves to be evil. They may or may not be, but they actually align themselves like, we are evil, and evil with a capital E, and we align with that. Like Skeletor, it's a good day for evil.
I yell to him, "You can keep fighting if you want, but either way, we're walking away with whatever the hell you have on you."
You notice the big hobgoblin doesn't seem to be too much phased by any of this. Even the damages that's landed, he's like, I can keep going.
Well,
and
in that case, I can do it all day as well. And that hex that I maintained after taking damage, I'm dropping on the caster, and I'll unleash some Eldritch Blasts.
The caster drops to his knees. He's like, "Mercy in the name of the great worm of the deepest hell."
Yeah, that's
worm, you say?
moving.
Yeah, and like the bigger guys, you can tell he's considering just killing his companion. He's like, "You can take the knee, but you don't."
Blasphemy.
Yeah, these are apostates. We don't truck with them. So the caster's calling out. Big guy, he's trying not to roll his eyes, but he's sweating. He's like, "You let them take our hands, our weapons, our treasure, our loot. Don't let them
Stay
take our
your
dignity."
hand, Quentin. We need information.
I blast the big guy.
Yeah, make an attack.
Make a
24 to hit Eldritch Blast.
24 will hit.
Oh, yeah.
Better.
And that is 10 force damage.
Nice.
Takes 10 points of force damage. That point, he doesn't seem as brazen. Hits him in his stomach, and he does drop to a knee. The other one says, "Spare Uthlar's life." And he kind of looks over. He's like, "Shut up,
I look to
Czar."
Quentin.
We're named NPCs. We have information. No, we don't. We don't.
They don't have their
I'm Hobgoblin number 1. You're
they don't have
Hobgoblin
their
number
NPC
2.
cards like, "Hi, I don't know anything."
I have dialogue options.
I see you've both read the good book, How to Take a Knee. Let's talk terms.
They shrug. Yeah.
Lost in translation.
Keep the storm just going. I'm gonna keep concentrating on it just in case.
They
but
get it.
I'm gonna hold it.
Think late
They
night
understand too, and they
thoughts.
ask that at the end of this interrogation you take their lives, for they are not their defeat. If they leave here after being defeated, they might as well be dead.
All right.
Sure.
Or
Can't accost other travelers if they're dead.
So by all means, ask.
How did you arrive here? Who's your commander? What is your mission?
I command this small skirmish group. However, we follow one known as Karkalan. He is to the north. We also believe in the great might of Worm Lord Koth.
Any sense to you at all, Quinn?
That's interesting. I'm pontificating. Can I get a history check to see if is this like draconic related?
Any of you can make a religion check, assuming you're proficient in it, and then
Mine? Yes.
a history check works as well, and you might get more information.
efficient history checks, you say?
The D&D Beyond D20 hates me today. That's a 9 religion.
I had their worst religion, so I'm just gonna keep them at.
You can tell that they are wearing one is wearing a amulet of religious significance.
Woohoo.
It is. You can see that it's dangling inside the bronze cast dragon skull. What did we get for the history check?
I got a 20 or a 19 proficient.
Okay, and here's what you know. So, these names aren't names known to you. It must be some new force in the area. However, you do correlate that these are similar names and titles used by those that raided Lin Armal, the Cloud Giant's castle. So there seems to be some correlation between the groups.
Other than their shared symbology.
Shared symbol, similar titles, probably different groups. Probably they have sort of a regionality to them, or they're dispatched to different regions.
Makes sense for me not to be aware of them. I'm spent most of my time in the north and to the further east, so.
So I direct a question towards both of them. What is it you were seeking here? What precisely were your orders?
We are mustering a force. We are going to prepare for the day of ruin. And so we are leaving near the river town and are preparing to murder every last one of them.
Then what form are you in right now? You just muted yourself.
Blanche.
I'm in a Quentin form right now.
Okay.
I would say, do they have Blanche? Because weren't we going to Drellin's Ferry because she was being held there by hobgoblins? And these
Locked
are
herself in a basement.
hobgoblins
Yeah.
near Drellin's Ferry?
Yeah.
Are you bringing Blanche up?
Somebody probably mentioned Blanche.
Where is Blanche?
She's back in the woods.
At the name, you can see them both kind of like make a face like something spat in the air, and they're like, that noisy strumpet.
Strumpet.
Yeah, they're like, she became more trouble than she was worth. We sent her from the keep. Last she made off for was Drellin's Ferry proper. We had plans to murder her. She proved difficult to reason with.
How do you
Because you
reason-
were going to murder her.
Uthlar, the big one, speaks up and says, I would not have allowed that, though there were others that had tried. They found themselves dead, but not by my sword, by her spells.
I was like,
So-
how do you have difficulty killing someone that you have captive?
So she is no longer captive?
She was trained by one similar to that we seek to ally with. We do not know how long she could hold out, but we believe her powers were finite, though cleverly disguised. And they motioned to, like, the decimated scroll where they tried to summon a second hellhound. They're like, she had resources on her. Could you ask your question again?
Yeah.
I think it
you
was... yeah.
speak of one who you seek to ally with. Who would that be? Who
The name is
shall-
forbidden to be spoken by our tongue, but there is a great magicier to the north. One who has walked the line between life and death.
Yeah, I
And-
thought so.
If the name is forbidden to be spoken by the tongue, how do you refer to that individual?
Could
We
you write it
refer
down?
to them as the Ghost Lord.
She won't like that.
Copyright infringement. Trademark infringement.
Have you set eyes upon this person?
No. But
How do
there
you-
was a stratagem that was planned, and we believe they will be persuaded to join our forces.
You've never met them or seen them. How do you know them to even exist?
We're middle rank soldiers. We do as we're
Ah.
told, and we have found great success. Before you came, there were 23 that we had slain today.
Today,
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
it's a busy day. How busy is this road?
Many are headed to Drellin's Ferry. They do not know what awaits for them there. Many are disappointed because their outgoing traffic is intercepted by our marauding forces. We've had a pretty good gambit going on up until today.
While Rednian is talking and interacting with him, I kind of slip back a little bit and circle around, getting the dragon tooth dagger out.
So, all these that you have dispatched this day, were they traveling? You just slipped it.
There were 4 caravans.
Where are the remains of the caravans?
Much of it was burned in our farmhouse, and what valuables they had, we tucked under the bedrolls. No one thinks to look there. We stick
Everybody thinks to look under the bedrolls. Where have you been hiding?
Uthlar goes, "That's what I told him." No, it's just like
That's place number 1 to look. Amateurs.
Had the Castro one given a name yet?
that's Czar.
Czar, I don't know if it'll comfort you, but know that after you die today, your name and face will live on, and deeds will attach itself to it.
You gotta tell them that while you're wearing their face. You know that.
As you
Well, I'm saying that, but I'm saying that behind him, and as I'm saying that, I'm disguising myself to look like him.
okay, as you finish saying that, you notice he disappears.
Damn it!
Uthlar kind of turns and sees you and sees Czar. He's like, "How did you get up there?"
And then I stab him with a dragon tooth dagger or sharp tooth.
And then I stab him.
Where did the
You
other?
kill Uthlar. He is in no condition to fight, and he's bound and captive.
I yell,
You can also sort of see the indentation of Czar trying to squirm away. They're not bound or anything, but they're kind of submissive. At any point, anyone can describe how they kill Czar if you want to, because he only has 2 hit points left. He won't last very
Oh,
long.
pause out. Wait! And I
got
try to jump to where he is and like on him, bodily.
You
him down.
beat him with fists.
I was trying to 2-shot him and then jump away earlier, and I knew I thought I had gotten close because
You were very close.
Thought I'd consume him with Timora's fire, but looks like
You all
both his
take
plans.
You all
See,
like
no
hit him
fists.
to like maim just so he doesn't die. So you all get the finishing blow, and it's like a Final Fantasy or Chrono Trigger, like triple tech, like cross slash, and then
I'm not participating in that. I'm just like, yes,
I don't blame you.
I try a couple phrases until I get the voice right with Czar. I'm Czar.
I try to take off.
Czar. He coaches you on impersonating him. He's the worst. I hate Czar. And then the last time he goes, "I'm Czar," dies.
Try to take off his dragon pendant.
You get it, and inside there is, it flickers with an infernal light. There is a special religious amulet that was difficult to determine its origin. There may be some in the nearby town of Drellin's Ferry that recognize it. It's up to you, though, to find someone who knows what it is.
What about the other guy's sword? Oh, sorry.
I put it on, and you guys briefly see as it tuck away with some other religious pendants I have.
So, the other sword is a masterwork Astorian sword designed for a human-sized military leader, and it essentially functions as a +2 greatsword.
Holy.
This is a signature weapon.
None of us use great swords,
Not a
which
one.
is a damn shame.
Like,
No, that's trade bait. That's what that is.
Yeah,
yeah.
I suppose it would be nice to have some +1 weapons around here.
Bob goes, "Screw the disadvantage. It's mine now." I'm respecting my character.
He's the sharpest gnome around.
If Quentin could be a paladin, so can I.
So with that, it's just another few miles to get to Drellin's Ferry. Assuming you want to go there. If you want to go back to the farmhouse and search it, I can tell you exactly what you find there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
maybe we should have to the bedroll conversation. Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like we need to maybe bury some people, even if only like, I don't know, ceremonially. I feel bad.
Yeah, you find it. Yeah, you do find the remnants of merchants, their guards. There is a pile of about 450 gold pieces and various jewels and things of that nature. There is a wealth of food and silk and spices that they had been collecting. There are several barrels of alcohol. None of it's been tapped. and there is a note. You can tell, Uthlar signed it. He was like, "Do not touch." And then you can see he tried to draw like a little picture of like a drunken hobgoblin. Like he's trying to enforce some discipline. He's like, "You don't drink this. Save it for holy days and special occasions." There's also a variety of studded leather armor. So if anyone wants to take any of that, light crossbows.
Wait,
and there's at least
hold
7 suits of studded leather, 7 crossbows, 7 long swords. None of them are magical, but there's a lot.
So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to rip up that little piece of paper that's protecting just from the barrels.
Yeah, and then Deet and Tobias are like picking them up for you. Where do you want them, Doliris?
Okay, we're going to take one. We're going to take it outside, and we're going to pour one out for all these poor people. It's the Waterdeep way.
Pour it
Mind
out
if
for your
I-
dead homies.
I filter it first.
Okay.
So describe this Waterdeep ritual for us. And if we need someone to drop a beat, I nominate Corey. No.
Okay, well, it's not that fancy. I mean, some people are of the school of thought where we all like get happy drunk and thereby remember the fallen. But I'm not one of
I'd
those.
love you to roll into Drellin's Ferry completely drunk with like all the loot. We bring the goods.
No, I'm not.
Hobgoblin puppets on strings.
I don't roll like that. Just fill up a keg, just pour it out. I mean, in Waterdeep, I would do this like into the ocean, bay, whatever, off the pier. But there's no body of water around, so just literally pour one out and wish them Godspeed to their deities of choice.
Deet and Tobias look at you and they ask if they should bury Uthlar or if he should be left in the open. They're looking to you for counsel about what to do.
What
with
do
his
I know
remains.
about hobgoblin?
You are their religious leader.
religion. I can roll religion again.
Here's what you know about. Go ahead and make a religion
It should
check.
be like, okay. There we go. 23. Yeah.
She knows all about hobgoblin religion.
You kind of see Bope is now wearing this like badass rapper religious
Yeah,
amulet.
it's bling.
No, just like the Mr.
Bling,
T
bling.
chains,
Yeah.
and just you see, you start to put 2 and 2 together that the amulet with inside the bronze cast dragon skull, they worship Tiamat. These specific hobgoblins, they do not worship Maglubiet. There is no goblin love in them, and these are Wormsmoke Mountain hobgoblins that are extremely faithful to Tiamat.
I suspect they would prefer a pyre.
I suspect you're right. Can't say I really care though.
While they're sorry.
They're dead now, and we're not, and I'm willing to show them to their foul goddess as a sentient being deserves.
They
is really misunderstood.
You would say that.
they look to Quentin.
Take your loath
and they're
worship
like-
elsewhere, please.
No.
They look to Quentin and they go, or should we take their heads, put them on pikes, and put them by the roadside so when their friends show up, they see that we have been here?
Do we want to let them know the Velkyn Weave has been here?
No, we want to pin it on some other group. That Whiskey Magic Destruction group. No.
No, they don't get credit for
They,
it.
that's what they say. They go, we should come up with a fictitious group, a phantom group, like the anti-dragons.
Sirloin.
The dragon
They're
slayers.
cleric.
And you can tell they're trying to weave some like big deceptions. They're like, yeah, and we should like we should come up with some branding and maybe a style guide. And like you can see they're trying to sketch with the stuff Uthlar had with just their fingers. These are horrible renditions, by the way. These are very bad.
You've been saving this up, haven't you?
We've learned well, and they just kind of look at the group, but not everyone in the eyes, and they're just you can tell it's kind of them, and they're like, we kind of like the way you roll because you're a little shifty, but you're also honorable, but you're also a little edgy, and You're the kind of
That's
music we
us.
like to listen to, but we tell our parents we don't listen to you.
So while
We're an
they're-
alternative rock band with explicit lyrics.
Think,
Yes.
well,
Rinian?
I don't know how I feel about this.
while they're all inside and then outside doing the stuff, I will be over there with the raptor and rhino.
Oh. Yeah, you can see the raptor. It's sizing you up, but it's not like it very clearly doesn't want to have a fight. It's had enough to eat today.
Eldon.
And the rhino, it mostly looks like he's ready for a bowel movement, not to be graphic. He's just like, look, it's a rough day.
Add to our minions.
And then, because I am a Oath of Ancients paladin, I speak with animals.
All right. The raptor. Yes, my child.
So,
I want the raptor to make friends with Hellwood.
your
It could
masters
be an item.
or companions, I don't know how you would, how you viewed upon those that have been slain this day.
Dead weight.
Well, would you care to join a different group? One who rarely goes without.
Sorry. It's Velociraptor, the raptor. Jesus.
Raptor Jesus is always the answer.
They say they're like, we'd prefer to go home, but big shot of that getting back.
Where is home?
Chold.
Oh, yeah, that makes
You are
sense.
quite a ways away.
That is what we have learned. I've learned to open door handles. No, he doesn't say that. He's like I've been reading in my off time. Yeah, is Hell Whip with you all?
Damn right she is.
yes.
It is.
Had my eye on the horse. No.
I have
Clever
visited.
girl.
In
Yeah.
what capacity?
I have visited Schult. I was there but a few days, but it does give hope that perhaps I will make my way there again, if you would want to follow.
Make a persuasion check or an animal handling check with advantage.
I already have no, I don't have advantage. I'm already proficient at persuasion.
So yeah, you can get the 2 dice. Take the higher.
I will take the 22 with my really high persuasion.
Your voice will be the voice I listen to for this season, and if we find our companionship mutually beneficial, suggest we evaluate at the end of every year in what we refer to as a board meeting in Raptor culture. We assess our gains and make plans for the future, but for now, Sir Knight, saddle up. The rhino's like, I don't want no part of this, I'm just hungry. But
What would you like to eat,
Well, what's a rhino? So it
Sir Rhino?
Nanabas.
eats grass.
Yeah, he's like Nanabas. He's like, I would love there to be more cud. Yeah, the rhino says, the greatest gift that I could ask for is to run free. The rhinoceros.
Well,
Great Flight of
one
the
of,
Conchords reference.
one of my companions has a ranch farm that perhaps
Not a
maybe
farm.
a ranch. What? I said ranch farm.
You did.
It's with
It's-
the goats.
Yes, all right. I will travel with you. Which one of them is supposed to ride me? Just kind of looks at the group. You're gonna have the best mounts. A flying carpet, Jessica Rabbit,
Jessica Rabbit Horse.
Hell Whip, a raptor, and a rhino.
It's
We
gonna
need
be-
like a
Don't mess
giraffe.
with us.
It's going to be the most eclectic group of.
Bope will ride Deet and Tobias in a 2-person horse costume.
Or maybe like they've got a little palanquin for Bope to ride on.
Yes.
No, that's Delirious. Delirious gets the paladin.
No. I have the rug.
Tassels.
Would you rather have the rug or a paladin, though?
Flying rug, man.
Rug.
Yeah.
I don't want to be bougie. You know that's not. I'm not about that bougie life.
Just gonna ride my flying rug. I don't need to be bougie. That's what was said tonight.
I love this group.
I will let you choose your writer.
Choose your rider.
He takes a look at Eldon. He's like, "Listen here, Blue Eyes. Do you want to give another mount a go? Or are you happy with
A one
Missy
mount
over there?"
show.
The horse probably shows up at this point. Hell whip, just like.
Why are you talking my man?
I
Yeah.
heard you were considering other mounts.
I just tell the rhinoceros like, probably best if you talk to one of the other fellas.
He nods. He goes, "I suspect there's a reason for that." Heads up to Bope. He's like, "What about you, little fella? You look like you don't weigh very much. I hate to be like looking for the littler fellas, but it's easier on my back."
It's a rhino.
I couldn't say no.
He has no way to get on. It's just
Yeah, he goes, "All right. Name's Andre. Andre the Rhino."
Both whiz bang.
And with that, this looks like a good time to take a short break. Don't forget character questions by typing questions in chat. Start with a question in all caps, followed by your question and the character you're directed at. And before we go, Josh, why don't you tell us some of the Patreon?
Oh, that's right.
announcements?
The Games Tavern Patreon is live and a great way to support the show. Every Friday, patrons get to see special behind-the-scenes content and also get special access to other awesome content like DM notes, maps, and behind-the-scene videos. The latest updates include Tertia Nighthawk's Infernal Contract, Eldon Goodfield's Swamp Dice recipe, and video highlights and some behind-the-scenes show stuff. So just check in the Patreon panel below in the Twitch panel or go to patreon.com/thegamestavern, all one word, and get your hands on the amazing content.
And we'll
Applause,
be back
please.
after this break. Thanks for watching.
Welcome back. Let's check on some questions for the characters and then get back to the show. Michelle, why don't you read out the questions for us?
Okay, so the first question is for Renyon. Is he going to write a letter to his old adventuring companion Adgern and tell him about the great raptor mount that he just partnered with?
You know that I've seen some of the little bonus items that others have done, and I could see Renyon doing something like that.
And you know what? Let me read that question for you, Dolores.
Oh, okay.
Is Dolores considering expanding the orphanage, possibly run by Deaton Tobias, when they've learned more about the faith of Timora?
So first of all, expansions cost money, and I am not made of money. Second of all, actually my first choice in orphanage volunteer labor is actually Felgloss, because gold, is he a gold dragon?
Bronze.
Bronze. Because bronze dragons are heckin' cool, and he hates the Zentarum, and he and I could do some serious Zentarum bashing in Waterdeep. But Deaton Tobias, they're good dudes too. I mean, if they may find it kind of boring, but you know, when all is said and done, and I'm old and gray, and I think Yuan Ti and lizard folk live longer than humans. I mean, yeah, I could pass on the mantle to them. You know, we might find ourselves in that position someday.
Dun, 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 dun. I had my script and then I minimized it, so you're going to have to deal with my singing until I stop. We'll get back to where we left off in the game. So we've actually had a in-character request by one Bope the Wizard. You're going to do something with those bodies.
Yeah, so, I mean, while Dolores is doing the good work with the bodies of the fallen denizens of this small locale, Bope is learning a little bit more about the bodies of the fallen foes. So he's making sure the Holy One is distracted. He takes out his wizard book and just sort of sits down cross-legged next to the body of the big guy, and takes out a little knife that you guys rarely see, just a little skinning knife, and is looking at the book and looking at the body, and just kind of like chipping away, started shaving some skin, and he's got that vial that he used to save Dolores in the wizard's tower, the healing potion left over. So he's just collecting little bits here and there, kind of squeezes out some remaining blood, and then sort of squints at one page and scratches his head, and then like snaps off a finger and tries to like get some of the bone out, and trying to weed that, or displace that from some of the flesh. And then as he's done, he sort of says some incantations and finishes the spell Animate Dead on both of the hobgoblins, the two hobgoblins, and they become
Zar and Uthgar?
Yeah, they become my thralls.
Wow. Because there were a lot of other dead hobgoblins.
Right.
I like this.
The two fancy ones.
I once animated a worm cleric's corpse, and I sewed up a little door in his belly that I could hide in and walk around town.
No.
Yeah.
Oh,
Well, I was wanted by
like
the
a
law, so I was like, I'm
meat
hiding in
mecha.
the stomach.
No.
We nicknamed him Old Bone Bag, and because I would hide in the little bone bag, and
It's like Krang from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Oh yeah. Oh.
Hiding in the belly.
Yeah, I was gonna say, Deep would come over. He's like, "You need help with them bones and skinning them bodies?"
Yeah, see if you can get this index finger, outside of the. Yeah.
We won't get into it graphically, but Deet is an expert at handling all humanoid bodies and many different creatures. In fact, he might even, if anyone wants, he can make some javelins or a shield or a sword for people out of some of these parts.
I am not going to ask where this knowledge came from, because I want to sleep tonight.
Don't want, but thank you.
So,
Careful
as
with
they
turning off
rise
cameras;
up-
it might move us out of order on the overlay.
It did.
It did.
It's fine. We'll get
It's okay.
fixed.
So Bope kind of looks up at his new thralls and says, "Oh, well, it worked." Just sort of takes it in. Can you understand me? Can you talk?
Can they? Does the spell say they
No.
can?
They're zombies. For all intents and purposes, they are zombies.
They're zombies.
Yes.
Amara's tits, what are those?
So here's what we're going to do for them stat-wise, just because it's more fun this way. We are going to apply the zombie monster template over their stat blocks.
Ooh.
Because that is a thing you can do with the monster manual, and it's fun
That's
to do
fun.
game design. So maybe if you follow us on Patreon, you will see Zombie Uthlar and Zombie Czar stat blocks. Support us at the $1 million level. It's fun to do games like that. They just kind of they don't say brains, they're worm hobgoblins, and they just go worms.
Delirious
Worms.
stars. Oh, hey, hi, hello, Tamir's child. Yes.
Worms.
They were standing minutes ago. Now they're standing again. You know, crazy things happen. Yes. Well, you know the ghost princess. You remember how she was kind of like dead and alive? And
I understand what necromancy is, okay? Like, I'm not stupid. It
seemed
I
like
need
she
help
was on
reacting
to
to this.
Seemed like she was onto something, and I just wanted to try to figure out how she did that. And, well, this is a start.
Deaton Tobias says, but they don't have fancy cloaks like us. Are they just gonna let them into town, or are you gonna have to stash them in the woods someplace?
That's Bope's problem.
Actually, I can help you with that, Bope.
Oh,
Making them up. Here, little hearts
Yep.
on their cheeks.
Get the disguise kit out, plenty of rouge, and
Doesn't care.
A couple
Well, they
of
do
Blanche
clowns.
Wig.
Everybody loves
They're
clowns and doesn't find
hobgoblins. They
them
have
creepy.
red skin.
yeah, to blend in, like, make them look a little bit more alive.
Concealer. Maybe.
Yeah.
this was more of an experiment. I've never tried this before. I would say
So
it's
you
quite the
say.
success.
It's
Uh-huh.
probably like coming out of the farmhouse. Like, what do y'all want to do with the gold coins? Like, there's like, looks like they stole a lot of it probably, and they go, "Holy,
Hey, oh, surprise! It's not,
Bope, this is not okay."
how do you know it was me? I mean, you guys just jumped to conclusions. Okay.
Well, I came outside and you were talking to them, so
That's fair. But really, I just got hit by a fireball. That wasn't fun. Maybe this time they could get hit by a fireball instead of us,
I also got hit by a fireball, but I didn't feel the need to make a zombie because of it.
Well, I can't fault you for being not creative, but, this is a solution.
Bope, like a horde of undead destroyed my farm and killed all my animals. Do you remember that?
Yes, but it wasn't these undead.
Okay, this is still not okay.
Would it make you feel better if you got to kill them again?
No, because I'm afraid you just bring them back again, and that
And they
defeats
look
the
even
purpose.
worse.
It took a lot of effort. I'm not going to do this every day. Unless...
Took you like 5 minutes.
Please don't do this every day, because
Delirious,
Oh, yeah.
You know how magic works.
Velociraptor speaks to
Okay.
Rinian and is just like, this opens so many moral quandaries. Necromancy, evil arcane art, or modern day recycling and making use of the bodies. He used to ride me, and he used me, and I was not yet dead, and now the small one uses him as a similar beast of burden. Are we not all animals? In this essay, I will, and it kind of fades to black.
Look,
They get like his little note board, and he's like,
So
What do you got?
luckily, by that point, only Eldon's able to understand him because the spell wore off for me.
Yeah, I got all of that. I'm just like,
So I try and insert myself to change the subject away from the necromancy to, you were asking about the gold, Eldon. I would suggest that we keep the gold and anything else useful to us. And when we get to the town, we tell them the good news, sort of, that their missing family and caravans have been found, and then lay the bad news but they're deceased. and they'll be happy that anyone who was missing has been found and isn't, in an unmarked grave.
And they'll be happy that they're still dead.
About all the spices, the silks, the other trade goods that are piled up. We can't carry all that ourselves. And
Is there a wagon here?
are there any wagons intact?
No, they destroyed the wagons. With that said, though, okay, no, you can keep playing out the scene.
Say there's a lot of goods in there. I guess we can just let them know that they're here. I suppose we don't need to haul all that with us. I don't think we can.
Let's take the.
The rhino's like, you can probably drag it.
Think so?
These
The
Elden
dragon?
hears.
Dragon?
No,
And then-
no, not like that. The rhino says he could probably. Andre, pardon me, Andre, right? Yeah.
Just tie it up. I'll drag.
He says he could drag it.
They got enough knickknacks in there.
Let's make it so.
You have to shave all the hobgoblins and weave their hair into rope. No, I'm just kidding. He just like, wade out into the shallows and let the sea
I was
life back
thinking
in
Where
their
did he
bodies.
get the rope?
Off my back.
Yeah.
Back here.
So, you're able to lash together rope and get the barrels and most of the stuff if you want. The rhino's got some space on
He's a
him
rhino.
too, like yeah, and
Just rope taking up a small section. Yeah.
yeah, and he's like, in fact, I think I might sandwich keep the little fella on in case I buck.
Do you buck frequently? Assuming this.
No, never. I
Can't do it.
charge, but I can't really buck. I'm not built like that.
It's a little dense.
It's like,
Yeah.
oh.
That if you want to lash up the goods, you can, including all the weapons, swords, and things like that if you would like. These are you can tell like they're not the finest make, but they're still in good condition, and very clearly the hobgoblins were saving these.
What's the eyeball estimate of this? If we were to sell it kind of half value of it purchased new, assuming we could get that price, what would it tally up to?
I need to do some calculations to get that exact, but probably equal to the amount of gold that you found, maybe a little more. And I'll throw this out there. There might be reasons why they might even pay more than full value for them when you get into town.
All right. So we give nothing away for free,
Fair enough.
unless it's for the kids, right?
No.
We could,
Kids.
Hellwhip can help with some of this. I'm not that heavy, and she's a strong horse.
She
You know,
neighs in approval.
See?
When we were back at the Wandering Tower, in the journals we were looking at, Blanche Devereaux's handwriting was in some of those, right?
Lafayette.
Blanche Devereaux is the Golden Girls. No. That's Rue McClanahan. No, yeah, Blanche Lafayette.
Sorry,
handwriting is in there, yes. Yes.
Okay.
Sorry.
Golden Girls flashback. All right.
I know. Love it.
Lafayette. Yes. I'm going to leave a handwritten note attached to the wall with a dagger saying, Blanche Lafayette has all of your stuff. Have a nice day.
You don't even particularly plan for where the chips are going to fall. You just throw them out there and see what happens, don't you?
Yes, I only have about 5% of a plan because chaos in the world.
I was like, I'm pretty sure he's an agent of chaos.
He's chaos.
Some just want to
reigns.
watch the world burn.
I'm not sure it's burn. Like, maybe he just wants to watch the world smolder. Like,
Either or.
yeah.
Well, look, they said that she got away, and it sounds like she might be at the ferry place that we're headed.
If they
But-
believe your obviously a lie note.
Well, I mean,
Uh,
it's in her handwriting. Maybe they do, maybe they don't. But if they do, then suddenly she's a lot more dangerous than she was a day ago. And maybe she lives an hour longer.
And Anything else that you want to resolve in this scene before heading to the town? It's still.
What are we
miles
doing
off.
about Bope's zombies? Bope,
Well-
are you keeping them?
They can march in front. And then when everybody screams, we can save the town and be heroes.
No, we're not doing that.
Wait, do you mean to like pretend that your zombies are attacking the town, then we kill them, and then they think we're heroes?
That is what he said.
It would solve so many problems.
No, Bo.
I don't.
I'm not
We
doing
don't
I
that.
have those
agree with
problems.
that. That's not a problem we have. Like,
I mean, we look like any old brigand.
No, we don't.
no, we don't.
I have
Now
a
point
flying
to the
carpet.
menagerie around
We have a
us.
paladin.
They don't know
Dean and
us.
Tobias are like, we're holy patrons of Timora.
I pointed
We
that.
have a saintly glow upon our countenance.
That's what
Yeah.
they said.
That's
Your
right.
average brigands.
Well, I've never been this far south. I'd heard it's really gone to hell. You never know.
Aha.
Can you put them in the goat pen? I don't know.
Look, if you don't want them to come, they don't need to come. It's not.
You're
that
right. They don't have to breathe.
They would be comfortable in there, as long as they don't touch my stuff.
I'm prepared. I'm prepared to
Please
keep
put them in
the
the bag.
zombies.
Bag
Alright.
of zombies in a
Oh
fight.
my God.
Yeah. Uthlar's zombie template flies out into someone with a +2 greatsword. Ah!
Oh,
Oh,
are you?
yeah.
Wait, no. Question: can he still use the greatsword he wielded in life?
I'll roll for it when the time comes.
Because
Either he goes to pick it up and he loses a hand.
I mean, one of them is
he's an
missing a
excellent-
finger.
He's basically a missile at that point. We're just point him and watch him go.
Bope would know to always take pinky fingers because they're useless.
Unless you play
Yeah,
harp.
right.
Or use
Look,
a
do you want them
turntable
in
on your
storage?
car.
Sure. So we just need to remember, mechanically speaking, I can only control them for so long, and
What happens then?
well, either I need to continue the ritual, or I can let them do their zombie thing. I don't really know.
What is their zombie thing?
Probably bad things.
We're talking an hour, 8 hours, 24
Thriller
hours.
dance.
24. I mean, about a day. I don't know. I've never done this before.
Maybe we should just get rid of them now. Like
That's
you said
okay.
it was an experiment, proof
It
of
was.
concept. You can do it. Are you satisfied? Please, Timora, be satisfied.
What? See, if we were going into a hobgoblin citadel, this would be perfect. We could march them out front. But it sounds like we're going to town, and that has all sorts of problems and whatnot. So fine, let's just. You don't want them? Last call.
I'm fine with it.
I do not want them traveling with us.
I think they're more trouble than they're worth.
Hard
Okay.
pass.
Where are we going? I guess we're going to
The
Drellin's Fair.
town.
Going
Aren't
to
there-
town, yeah.
Aren't there people there we don't like keeping Blanche under guard?
I get the animated rope out and I start doing the lasso thing and have the circle land on the ground and do the portable hole opening.
Look, we have time. Just Utlar, Zar, into the hole. We'll deal with this as we need to.
Worm. They crawl.
Tight a combination. Squeeze. Hands inside.
They
Oh,
they kind of shimmy in.
They get in and they're mesmerized by all the stuff that's
Don't touch the rod of the Vonadot, okay? Very tight combinations.
As they go in, I
I look to Eldon. Look, I'm sorry. I didn't realize how insensitive this was, but I really think we have something to learn from this. I'm still trying to figure it out, but give me time.
They could be our mounts, say Deet and Tobias.
Bope, there's
Oh
nothing
my
good.
I'll find you
There's-
better stuff, honey.
Nothing good that can come from unholy death.
What about life?
I appreciate the apology, Bo. But that's
My
still
goal
creepy.
That's not life. That is undeath.
Well, it's not life this time, but eventually, who knows? Maybe I can do that.
Can anybody do that?
Aren't you supposed to be able to do that?
Oh right.
I wasn't gonna say it.
I think I might be able to do it one day, but
Oh right, yeah. I didn't pay super close attention to my cleric lessons, but yeah, no, you're totally right.
If you guys can do it, I can do it.
Yeah, but you're a dirty arcane heathen. See, our magic comes from higher powers, and it's
Oh,
every
it
time
all
Billy
comes out.
She go by, I'm like nodding with
No.
her.
Just because you're all taller than me doesn't mean it's a higher power, okay?
I've only got like.
Stomp off
Elvin's
them.
not really taller than you, and he's still a higher power.
With the kyphosis, it really is, okay?
The rhino's like, don't pay any attention to him. You don't understand what he's saying. He's just like grass.
Okay, let's
I've
go.
been judged for my size too, he says with a single rhino tear.
Aww,
Yeah,
they're
Andre
perfect
really
for
feels
each
for you
other.
both.
I'm a rhino of size. And yeah, and they with that, we'll fast forward to you coming towards Drellin's Ferry. So Drellin's Ferry, there is literally a river that runs through it. You can see it glistening past the golden fields. There's some farmhouses, and there is a large watchtower on the western bank of the river, which is the direction you're coming from as you travel south. How you approach, there's essentially, as you're approaching, you hear in the distance, you can hear from the watchtower a voice crying out, "Identify yourselves!"
We are the Velkyn Weave, and I am Doliris, cleric of Timora.
Lyris, what do your elf eyes see?
People like clerics,
Legolas.
That's
Eyes.
fair.
They're just my eyes. No, yeah, there's calling out, and then the people there, they're like, "So you're drow, you're dark elves, Velkyn?"
See,
Damn it, Quentin.
they could have killed us. You
None of us are drow.
You don't look like dark elves. What is this? Some kind of circus act?
I worship
They're calling out,
Timora. Timora.
See, they get it. They get it, Velkyn. Yeah, they
We're a
understand.
Peller town. You won't find any shrines here. They seem like they're not very good at their jobs, and they seem very panicky. And
I
with
can
that, you
heal
hear like
people.
motions of people. You could see like folks come like running like out of the fields trying to get to the guard tower. They're kind of looking at each other, trying to figure out what to do.
Tell them we
They
have
get some
alcohol
shields.
for sale.
They kind of like cower by the watchtower too. They're like, "Oh gosh, this could be it."
Quentin.
as a
We
man,
slew some hobgoblins.
Tell them we're traveling merchants. We have stuff for sale.
We're about to do some war profiteering, aren't we?
see, if they had seen us slay hobgoblins, I'm as a man of this stature, I'm not. It's not above me to say I told you so.
I'll yell, "Well, we have goods for sale. Free traders. Alcohol."
So it's not that delirious. It is supplying for the demands of our calling so that we may continue to the future.
The
You are
paladin
the
says it's
last
not war
person I
profiteering.
expected to support war profiteering.
Hey, he says
it
it's
is-
not war profiteering.
It
It's
is
fine.
the natural way.
So at this point, they seem so sort of just out of sorts with what's going on. A stout man. He's above average in height, but below average in physique. Looks like he has skipped leg day numerous times.
Never skip leg day.
He skips leg day, and he's kind of huffing and puffing as he comes running up the trail. He's like, "Well, they're clearly not hobgoblins." One of them's like, "Could be a trick. They might have a portable hole or something filled with hobgoblins. Nobody would think of that." All right. Sorry. Setting that up.
Yeah, no, that's far beyond us.
He's kind of wheezing and he's motioning, and he kind of meets you halfway. And at this point, they do have a big watchtower, and there you can see as you look around, they're on all sides of the town, to the north, south, east, west. There are watchtowers that look like they were hastily built around Drellin's Ferry. This is clearly people that have been under great stress and duress. They're like, you're bringing stuff to sell?
Yeah.
So killed some hobgoblins out there in the woods.
They attacked us. We wiped them out.
Like, how many?
Like 36 of them.
Over a dozen. I don't know, maybe 2.
Somewhere between
These-
36 and a dozen.
You know, some of the other people who were cowering around, they seem very, very, very impressed. And like, there's even people up in the watchtower. They're like, maybe these folks could help us out. And they're like, so every few days, big group of hobgoblins comes and scares the bejeebies out of us. They haven't been brazen enough to take out the entire town. So Rana seems to scare them off most of the time. She's not exactly available today. And we just get nervous anytime we see shadowy figures coming down the horizon, especially when we've heard stories of some on mounted thunder lizards. He motions to the raptor that kind of flicks its tongue at him. And elephants looks at the rhino.
That's not, oh my God.
Close, but we did acquire these from the hobgoblins we slew, if that. So yeah, that checks out. But no. Rana? Who's
So Rana, she more or less is she's not the main authority in town, but she's the one everyone listens to. She's what you would call and you notice he's like stammering almost as if he doesn't want to say it, and someone calls down from the tower, the captain of the guard, as opposed to the lieutenant pro temp. And he kind of looks up, he goes, yeah, she's the captain. As opposed to lieutenant pro temp. And he points at like a badge you can tell that his proud wife probably made him.
He made himself. Yeah.
We held an election. I was appointed.
Why is Rana not available right now? Or today?
He goes, now pardon my language, but she's dealing with this braggadocious hussy that's drinking
I
up.
describe the braggadocious hussy that we know.
Brown hair.
Yeah, just
about
like
shoulder
that.
length.
Like, Clinton's right here. What are you talking about?
That's the one. She came storming out of the woods, and she took up the nicest room, the executive suite, and the Green Apple Inn, and she spends most of her day drinking.
Well, she would have definitely helped you against those hobgoblins had they attacked, so don't be too mad at her.
I actually know her that well. I'm not sure that's true.
She seemed very well read, but all the wrong books.
Well, that's probably true. Yeah.
Yeah.
She's already petitioned to start a club in this town, a social organization where they circulate literature and talk about it once a week at the pub.
Well, you need something to do with your off days.
Is that a book club?
Book club?
Starting a book club?
He don't say it. And then you hear a voice from the tower. His wife's a member.
I'm losing my interest in talking to this person.
Well, if you want to go into town, you could go into town. I don't mean
Great,
to
yeah.
hold you. You're not
Okay,
under
thanks,
arrest.
bye. Clap him on the back as I walk by. Hard.
Oh,
I don't
he's
skip
like,
leg day or arm day.
careful,
Well.
my back knee. Horribly painful.
You.
I know. Ouch.
So you coming in on your rug, just like.
No, I'm walking.
Oh, she doesn't want to be bougie.
Right. You're right. Sorry.
So who do
Yeah,
you want me to be? Blanche?
No,
one
we're
Blanche
going
in
to
this
meet
town.
Blanche.
So you
Um,
have, yeah.
Oh, no, be the ghost princess.
Oh no.
Hmm.
You're muted.
Go well.
The ghosts don't talk. You can't hear them. That's what was going on. The wedding did not go well.
That's probably an understatement.
Well, remember the wedding was not for the Ghost Princess.
I know.
Okay.
No, I'm not going to be the ghost princess. Let's just
I was about to say,
deal
I
with
was
her.
like,
No, that's a little outside of my caliber.
Oh, this is outside of your caliber.
Hey, he recognizes his own limits. Give him credit for that.
I'm impressed.
I don't know
Yeah.
what. If never mind.
Give me a couple months, and
Couple of years, maybe.
You didn't need months to impersonate Blanche Lafayette.
yeah, she's just like a box of hot air and some nice hair.
Blanche isn't a lich. You know,
And there's
It
that.
needs a lot more work.
I look at Quentin. Erase you.
Wait,
so
Just kidding, Renyon. Just kidding. Give Quentin some eyes.
So as you approach the town, you notice too, the town seems to be split into two sides. There's the side you're on, which is mostly farmland. There are a few buildings over here. You can tell they're decorated. One looks to be a brewery and pub. Then there seems to be almost like a farmer's market / hoe and harness shop. They're on opposite sides of the street. Then there's a massive, beautiful, amazingly constructed stone bridge that goes across the river into the town proper. It is very clearly not made by locals. All signs would point to that it was made by dwarves at some point, probably anciently.
Anciently.
Yes.
Do we want Deedon Tobias to deal with the trade goods?
Trade goods? You want us to sell this stuff? We could sell the liquor to the brewery. We're excellent socialites, if you will. Besides, we've got our constable badges. Surely they're familiar with the massive city of Callinghorns around these parts.
I wouldn't bet on it.
No, you fellas, y'all stay close.
Well, you know,
What if you give us
I
the
can
fancy letter?
supervise. I can supervise. I'm kind of curious how they'll do, and I gotta let my disciples flap their wings.
This is adorable.
Baby birds.
I know,
gotta
isn't
fly.
it? Isn't it?
Okay. Yeah. Okay, Delirious. Delirious, okay.
is that a Letterkenny reference?
Yes, it was.
So let's get our priorities as the party straight. So if you want, you can go to the Hoe and Harness or the brewery. You can ride across the bridge into town. You can go back and talk to the guards if you'd like. There is also, I believe, one other building over here of interest. Let me just double check. Yeah, there's mostly just a large warehouse, and it's more like it's more like a flea market in there.
We need to find.
It's not a thieves' den, but that's
Blanche
where.
first.
I can tell you what my number one priority is. That Blanche and any dragon lore that she has, because if that airship hasn't arrived yet, well, it could be soon.
It's on
Yeah.
She's
We
the
need to
reason
find
we're
Blanche.
here.
And remember, the hobgoblin leader guy did say that they were getting ready for an assault.
Yeah, we gotta find Blanche. Let's find that inn, that tavern, wherever she's holed up.
So
Keep talking to her.
here are your options. You can cross into town and find the Green Apple Inn. Likewise, there's a chance that she's at the brewery nearby. Which would you like to check first?
Well, the brewery's nearby. What time is it getting late? We need to go get some rooms.
Sun's going down.
We could check real quick, I suppose, if the brewery's nearby and she's been drinking a lot.
Yeah, and who knows? We could maybe just cut a deal and get rid of all this stuff right then and there.
Yeah. Just peek our heads and see if she's there.
Yeah.
But we need to find her sooner than later.
All right. You peek your head inside. You see there's a piano, and there's a almost like a stork-looking fellow who's playing it. When I say stork, he's built like a stork. He also has like a little bird head, and That's old Pee Wee. And so Pee Wee is the pianist at the brewery. And
Is he wetting his beak? Just
not yet. They say he can't drink till he's done with a set. He's like, I drunk better when I when I play. He just gets all his words mixed up. There's a group of superstitious looking folk in the corner. They're all kind of huddled around, and they're staring at the bar where there is a woman sitting with perfect posture, reading a book while taking the occasional sip from a glass.
in her voice, I say, "Well, I do declare."
You don't even know. Never mind.
Yeah, no, remember we all met her once. So
She snaps her fingers and casts silence over that area. She continues to read her book. And she, she's just kind of like, you catch this. She didn't mean it as a slight against you. She's probably been putting up with quite a bit in this town.
I get my magic pen out that can write in air, and I write furiously. So the words are hanging in the air if she ever turns around to look at me.
She is not one to turn around and look, but it's more of the air about her. And the bartender's like kind of looks and like speaks to her. You see she looks up from her book at him and like motions with her hand. Looks like he's apologizing a little. Then you kind of see her shrug her head and turn around. When she sees the group of you, it's just kind of like dead. Sees Delirious and her eyes bug out. She tries to hide her surprise. She waves and then she snaps off the side. She's like, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. It's just they've been making fun of the peculiar way that I speak here in town and have been making fun of my accents and inflections. And they really are a town of ruffians. My goodness, how are you?
Why were you surprised to see us? Did you not expect us to come back from that stupid wedding?
I didn't expect you to come as far south as Drellin's Ferry. Last I've left off, I was in Tribor. That's very far from here. How did you find me?
Oh, well, the ghost princess, she told us she showed us where to find you.
You say ghost princess, and you can tell she's hiding a lot of emotion behind her eyes. So was the gift well received?
Poorly.
Define well received?
And the Countess? Well,
we don't know because things happened.
that woman ain't right.
Yeah, well, one, she's terrible. Yes, that's true. And then there was that whole hobgoblin and dragon attack from an airship, and we kind of fled in the middle of that, so we have no idea what her status is.
you can tell she kind of turns her head and
Airships.
smirks pensively when you call her terrible. She's like, yes, I know. The very worst. That's why I
The
snubbed her
very
wedding.
worst. She's just the worst. And actually, you funny enough, you didn't snub the wedding.
Oh, did she
Yeah,
call it off?
you were totally there.
Everybody saw you.
Totally.
I mimic her motions back at her, and kind of get her body language down. Flick my hair back and do a 360 when I come back around. Disguise self to look like her.
And I want it noted that I protested against this.
She
You're
bats
famous.
her eyes a little, then she's like, you're a very handsome elf. By what name shall I call you?
Well, I go by Blanche.
It's the very best of names. She
Only the
says
finest.
with great pride. To avoid any confusion in town, I'll make sure that everyone calls you Blanche.
Very well.
What are they calling you?
She tries to pluck Quentin's mind grapes. Do you let her? If you resist at all, she won't.
Yeah, sure I will.
She goes, I'll go by Quentin.
There's a
It's a
lot of
splendid
baggage with
name.
that name.
Same. She says in reference to Blanche.
Sure. I mean, if you need to, yeah. Okay.
She telepathically speaks to you. She's like, so while you were me, did you get to talk to the ghost princess? Did she talk about me? Did she miss me?
I did. I saw.
And then she realizes she's like oversharing. Then she's like, never mind, didn't mean it. Looks back at Delirious. And she's like, I owe you some money, but I'm a little short on it right now.
You know how
I can imagine. We were told
It was
you were
taken
taken
from-
captive. Yeah, checks out.
So I am in your debt.
What about that
I
book?
actually suspect that's a bad place for me to be.
What about what now?
Well, I don't think it's good to have you in my debt. I feel like you're even more dangerous.
Oh, a Lafayette always repays her debts. This book, she turns it around. She's like, it's local garbage. They have a library here in town. Very poor selection. But some interesting vegan recipes. He can't make it, and the bartender looks down in shame. But he's a sweetheart. He looks up with pride. So, you were accosted by hobgoblins in the woods?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And at the wedding.
And at the wedding.
Oh yeah, remember I said the
Crossover.
dragon and airship attack?
Mm.
Do you recognize the red hand they all seem to be bearing?
They appear to be a faction, a growing force. And from what I can tell, they're all gathering at a nearby fortress under a common leader. What was his name? Soap? Koth, she says. And you heard that name when you interrogated the hobgoblins.
Mm-hmm.
I smack Renion's shin next to me.
I told you there was a hobgoblin citadel. Good thing we kept them.
I don't.
So there is concern then that another attack is imminent.
My friends, you have only identified the tip of this spear. That small group of marauders is next to nothing in the woods.
Mhm.
They're amassing a very large force. I think I've seen it with my own eyes. I attempted to describe from while I was being held in the keep. There were too many for me to count. I've seen over 100 in the woods during my travels.
You were
I can't
inside the keep,
Yes,
so you might know its layout, perhaps.
I wouldn't say that. I tried to get my things back, and, well, I found myself... She's trying to maintain her pride. She says, the battle was not mine that day. She kind of pulls her hair back, and you can see she does have a sad scar behind her ear that kind of runs down.
Mm-hmm.
A longer jawline.
Say, did the ghost princess happen to send you a package that you received in the last few days?
It's just... Now that you mention it, there was a map. She had sent a map.
Yes. Is it in your possession?
It's at the inn. I keep it in the drawer. I woe unto the person that tries to get into that dresser.
A lot of people are looking for that map.
That seems to be the crux of the situation.
I mean, if you needed to take some heat off yourself, we could take care of it for you.
She looks at Delirious and the rest of the group. Well, I'm curious how you all feel about that. I'm sorry, I'm horrible at introductions. And you are... She looks to Rinian.
I'm
The strong silent type.
Rinian. I'm a paladin of Sylvanus.
She sort of nods, and she speaks in Sylvan too, and explains that she had a brother that served in the similar order, and she's not too sure what became of him. For once adventurers go about their lives, they often disappear off the family's radar, the same as she did when she went under the Ghost Princess's tutelage.
I have had another party that I traveled with, and I do not know what became of them, unfortunately.
She nods in sort of appreciation, and she's like, and the two of you, I detect some sort of practitioner of some kind of magic, but I can't put my finger on it. And she kind of looks at Eldon and Bope.
We're basically the same.
Very different ends of the spectrum.
And like she sits on that conundrum. She's like, a paradox.
It's really not. Not even close.
I'm a paladin.
This is Bope Whizbang. I'm Eldon Goodfield. Pleasure to meet you.
She's like, no, you're not. You're a wizard apprentice. Mostly known for your penmanship. Which, when you copied her penmanship, you felt like was a nice little upgrade. You're like, you should maybe write like this a little more often. It's letter forms.
It's all about hand posture.
She was working as a scroll writer, and times are hard on wizards these days, and she could only get a job as like writing scrolls in Tribor of all places. She's like, this was not the placement I was hoping for my internship. But she's like, so I've met Blanche, Eldon, Bope, the Paladin of Sylvanus, and Delirious. We're friends. And you can tell she's honest when she refers to you as a friend. She goes, I think I will be giving you that map, especially if the Ghost Princess sent it this way. She probably trusts you all more than she would trust me.
Must have been a good first impression.
I don't know how.
Well,
Blanche here is very convincing. I motion to Quentin.
I think she liked our.
Blanche looks at you and says, she is. Most of the time, kind of looks wistfully as she's like, and the Ghost Princess wasn't even upset that it wasn't really me. How dare she? And she kind of looks at the barkeep who's just been staring at this whole thing the entire time, slowly washing a cup. She's like, oh, mind wipes him from the past 2 minutes. And she's like, around for all of them, unless you'd be going straight to the inn immediately.
I'll take a drink.
It's been a long day.
All right. You're given the drinks, and some time goes by, and the beverages here are quite good. Not only that, Deet and Tobias are talking to the barkeep, who's looking at him real strangely. You could tell they're making good deals, and they're upselling, and they're like, and we're willing to let the bundle go. Then they kind of look at Delirious, then they look at Quentin, then they look back at Delirious, then they kind of settle on the Rinian compromise, and they sell everything for fair market price, plus 20% for the trouble you went through going through this. They're like, this is kind of an administrative fee. We might need to get some armor repaired. Our blades don't sharpen themselves, nor do they clean themselves. So we stand to make a little profit. Otherwise, how would we feed ourselves? And the bartender's like, I do the same. And they by the end of it, they're all friends.
I don't think I have anything more to teach them.
The barkeep's almost at the point where he's like, I could use some hired help in Drellin's Ferry.
Hands off.
Yeah, he kind of begs him. Well, I'm just saying.
They're my disciples.
And you can tell old Pee-wee, the bird folk-looking piano player, is awfully leery because Tobias is like, he looks like he would be good if we removed his feathers.
No, we don't. We do not cook and eat sentient beings
anymore.
Right around then,
Eldon, I didn't hear that.
I'm talking about those fellas. Come on.
Door opens. There's a man standing there. He is wearing a red robe and a silver amulet that hangs. Big old belt. On the buckle, it doesn't have his name, but it has an emblem of the town. And he walks with a staff that has a vulture head cane. He has a marvelously waxed mustache. His hair is cut very short on top. And entering behind him is a tall woman. Her looks are beautiful, but hidden behind a stern look. And she seems like this is not the situation she wanted. The man comes in, and he's like, Blanche, this is the last time we will attempt to negotiate this week, or we were going to ask you to leave the town. And Blanche kind of turns to Quentin and goes, answer him, Blanche.
And what was my answer last time, pray tell?
You told me you would not go to the keep. You would not go alone. And Captain Serrana speaks up, and she would not accompany you to the Spring Harvest Festival.
She has good taste.
I'm sorry.
Serrana hears that, she nods.
I already have a date for the Spring Harvest Festival, and I look to Renyon.
Oh, Renion's not into it. Okay.
Elbow his
begins
shin again.
blushing madly.
Way to go, big guy.
Yeah, and the actual Blanche Lafayette turns and goes, he's quite handsome, and I'm sure I'm more than an adequate dancer, but there's not a resonance. No, I don't think I'm his type.
We'll compare story notes later.
What, pray tell, is my type?
Later, big fella.
The Taylor type. With
She
his
points
hands.
over at Lady Serrano when you say that. And Lady Serrano's like, who's pointing over there? And you can see that Blanche looks like Quentin now.
Yeah, not even surprised. Just like totally unfazed.
This is the most fun episode for me at this point, where it's just like, what? Dragons are cool.
What is happening? What is happening?
Look, there are bigger things than the spring dance to worry about. In less than 72 hours, every person inside here could be killed. The hobgoblins are massing.
He seems to sigh. He's like, I get that. It's inappropriate. But, you know, when your world is ending and there's no hope, and the Lion Guard themselves have forgotten the importance of your great town, he kind of goes off, and Serrana goes,
Look,
we have to prepare the town defenses, and I'm going to be quite honest. If an army's on this way, I'm not sure we could survive.
Yeah, I think you're going to need help, or like really incredible battle tactics. I notice you have a bridge. That's a good start.
We might be able to slow them down.
They
Go ahead.
They may have an airship
Oh yeah, there's that.
They kind of look at each other.
coming from the north.
Perhaps undermanned, but still.
We need more information and we need more intelligence. And perhaps we need to cut off the head of this serpent. An army, I'm not sure we stand much chance against, especially if, as she says, and they motion to the false Blanche, there are hundreds of hobgoblins in the woods. We'd like you to go to Vrath's Keep, and we'd like you to learn more of their intentions. Could be infiltrated, maybe discern some of their intentions. Besides, if she is to be believed, there are relics of great power there.
We know somewhat of their intention. Killing everyone here.
Captain Serrana looks very pained by this discussion, in total agreement with you.
That is a small part, though. There has to be an end then.
their will to fight, maybe to pick a fight in any way.
What if we have days, perhaps? What is the expectation?
They think about it. They go, to determine their timeline, you would require some reconnaissance. Blanche attempted to infiltrate their keep alone. They motion at Quentin as the false Blanche, and they go, but she was not successful. She was attempting to determine how many days we have before they arrive.
We know their airship is on its way back from their failed assault upon the cloud giant
Up north.
Could we intercept it, perhaps?
And if we had a dragon.
We have other methods,
Might have a way.
and it may be undermanned if they retreated in haste, having taken combat losses. Would be definitely a boon to have in this. Are we aware of any other airships, or do we believe this to be their only one left?
You know, they had two on the attack against Linar Mall. I believe one of them was destroyed. They also had to deal with all the Cloud Giants and Ghost Princess.
Right.
But they were there under a very specific purpose. If you recall, there was an item delivered to the wedding that they were trying to retrieve.
Yes. Ooh, they might have the item.
That we delivered.
See, this is why I choose Radiant. He's not only quick in his feet, quick in his mind. Such a brilliant plan. Bold. I fully endorse it.
We can flirt later.
I look at Quentin. Oh, wait, this is Blanche, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Ah.
What say you, brave Velkyn Weave?
So we don't want to go to the keep and take a look around. We want to go look for an airship we don't know is there.
Well, the airship, it might be, it's taking time. Perhaps we could go to the keep and then go intercept the airship.
Yeah, I don't know how we'd fight an airship.
Land on it, and then you kill everyone on it.
Yeah, actually, I'm on board with that plan.
Yeah, if it gets close enough, we know it's coming.
I
We
mean,
can
as
do
a
that.
concept, that sounds fine, but I don't know if it's going to go that way in practice.
So it would be difficult, but I think we might be able to manage it. I could summon a flock of giant eagles.
Yes.
The eagles are coming.
An interesting question is, how much adamantium is within a several-mile range? And would the rod of the Vanadad be able to detect an incoming airship, possibly carrying some?
X-nay on the odd ray in mixed company.
They kind of look around like you're speaking shenanigans.
She's having
Although
a stroke.
Quentin,
She's having a
the
stroke.
false Quentin looks over and is like, "You're all doing very well." Like she's like, "I like this group. They're investigative." Buys a drink for false Blanche.
Cheers.
So confusing. False Quentin.
I have so many problems.
A Quentin ain't one.
Yeah, Quentin is
Yeah,
one.
99
though.
problems.
Quentin is two, actually.
So
At least.
here's sort of what the speaker of the town says. High Speaker Noro, that's the guy with the mustache. He's like, if you can determine what their intentions are and how long we have to prepare before they come, we would defer any. We might have some money we can pay, or to be honest, they probably have some treasure and emotions to Blanche, and then you can tell he's kind of like out of sorts because you can tell to him this isn't something he wants to negotiate because he is imagining in his head all the farmlands burned, all the, their whole life decimated. Because what he's seeing in his head is the terror and horrors of war. And he's just like, I don't know how to stop this. I just need to know how long I have to prepare the people. And then I need to figure out where to go. We probably have to send a dispatch before we show up as a bunch of refugees at like Brindle, which is a city, some odd miles away.
I'm up for it.
Yeah.
I'm in. I can be
Quentin's
pretty
like-
sneaky when I need to.
I, Quentin Stargazer, commit my life to this quest. Just kidding, y'all. I'm in it for the money, and I expect to be well paid. You'll get your money, says Princess Leia, Captain Sorana at this point. No.
I would expect nothing else from a half drow elf.
Yeah, bit of a Freudian slip there, huh?
Dee and Tobias are like, so we couldn't make way for the keep. With that said, they sort of agree to this, and they're trying to figure out what terms. Now, as a party that there is supposedly some powerful relics at that keep as well, which is what Countess Sansuri was trying to track down with the map. And that's what Ghost Princess was trying to track down as well. And it appeared there were other factions in the world, and it looks like these hobgoblins are some that are attempting to find and come up with these splendid possessions and miraculous and wondrous items. With that said, the town is still big, and there are many places in town that you could explore before heading off. Is there anything you would like to do and explore in Drellin's Ferry, or how many days you would like to stay here to reconstitute or explore? You can also stable your horses here and your mounts. I will say the Rhino and the Raptor, they're willing to build pens, although Velociraptor's like, I hope there's a handle at the gate. Little claw. His head comes to the inn window. I've come up with another idea. My bad. Sleep. I'm a bit of a night owl. I want to get a puppet of his head.
Engrossed. Anytime he starts talking, just, oh, wow. Guys, you gotta hear this.
He's like, hisses and shrieks, and Elton's just like, yeah.
Like, that is brilliant. I never even thought of it like that before. Guys, you have to hear this.
Yeah, we do.
Did you perhaps want to ask them to build a small shrine to Tamora?
They would be willing to consider that. They're a Pelor town, but they're willing to build a shrine.
It is not up to me to ask them. It is for them to see the light and choose what they feel themselves befits their consciousness.
Yeah.
Deed and Tobias say, we'll help them see the light. Tell you what, we roll some dice. We roll higher, you build a shrine. You roll higher, and they hold dice in another hand.
Loaded, I presume.
We'll and then Deet sticks his head. We'll serve you for the rest of our days, and like willing to put it all on the line. So they take the dice from him. They roll. You see, they roll. It looks like a 3 on 2 dice, and oh look, boxcars. You can tell that these dice were probably carved out of hobgoblin finger bones. And you can kind of see that Deet's dice, he poked a bunch of holes in his and handed low dice to the others.
Truly, I am an excellent teacher.
Timora says,
Never play till you know the odds, they say. And you can tell they have it's like a little book of apocryphal Timora
Straight out of the scriptures.
Yes.
Why does it have the word Bashaba crossed out?
Okay.
So is there anything you want to do in town?
We're looking at the keep. Get the animals stabled. I would make sure they got everything they need to be comfortable. Talk to the Velociraptor about his particular dietary needs to keep him from mauling any villagers, if necessary. But he seems like a reasonable fella, I will say. So
I offer him a carrot. Would you like to try it? It's good. Crunchy like bones.
He bites in, and you can like see one of his eyes like start twitching. He chomps again.
There
And like you
go.
can tell, this almost looks like Calvin from Calvin and Hobbes when he's eating food he doesn't like, and he gets it down, and he's like, just like Mom used to make.
It's an acquired taste. I'm proud of you.
Kind of sniffs. Smells like you have an acquired taste over there. What you got in your robes? He's trying to
Okay,
like nose in
ready,
and find
ready.
Mr. Peppers.
Bunny is off limits.
Gotta go.
Easy there, big fella. The rabbit's not food. For the
Turns and
record.
looks it out and he goes,
Friend,
slow and steady
not
wins the
food.
race. Eyeballs back at Mr. Peppers, and then
Oh dear. I kind of put the rhino between me and the velociraptor.
you're gonna find the rhino with a pair of bunny ears. See, it's Mr. Peppers. I am not Mr. Peppers. You need to come clean.
So, with all this money we've made off war profiteering cough, I would like to see if they actually have any gear worth buying, as I don't think any of us have. Well, Rennie might have a +1 weapon, but I don't think anyone else has a +1 weapon or +1 armor
Or to have a magic weapon.
or anything. And we're about to go into. Oh, right. Some of you get cool loot.
My shillelagh club is nice.
Yeah, I bet it is. But
It
you can
is.
smack things with it, can't you?
Yeah, smacking pretty hard, yeah.
Yeah.
So there is a variety of store shops and things, and if you're looking, typically magic items aren't for sale, but there are some masterwork items here which are similar to magic items.
Mhm.
They don't necessarily do magical damage, but they do add bonuses to
Mhm.
attack rolls. So near the Green Apple Inn, there is a place known as Moreland Smithy. There is a very, very, very talented blacksmith that lives there, and he looks like kind of like the brawny guy, the classic brawny guy, and he's just like, oh, by the sweat of my brow, I shaped this metal, because that's apparently how the brawny guy talks, and he's just working all day, and he's like, what can I do you for, ma'am?
Do you have some masterwork weapons or armor?
And he motions, and like there's like a little gnome that pulls a curtain, and there's like a wall of very fine sort of things. He goes, I have spent my days creating splendid art. Gift from the gods, I say. And he kind of holds his arm up, and he tries to get like the little bicep thing going, but he's kind of, you can tell now that the light hits him openly, he's got more of like a dad bod thing going on. But he rocks it pretty well. And he's just like, are you still false Blanche?
I'm the real Blanche. Yes.
Okay, yeah, and you can tell
Deep
he
dive.
goes right over false Blanche because he had been snubbed before. So you like books, eh? I've crafted one out of metal. And they're just like, and like he carved in, will you go with me to the flower dance? And like she's like, no, I will not. And I'm not even flattered. By the way, it's Jello now. Touched it and it turned to like pudding. She fed to the barkeep. Yeah.
Cold as ice.
It's cold. I have that in my head now.
She's trying to avoid any rebound relationships.
Oh, is that what he was doing with the flexing of the dad bod at me?
Well, yeah, I think that's just his natural manner.
Easy kill.
But yeah, so he has things, and he's like, so, battle axes, long swords, big old heavy shields, chain shirts, breastplates, and arrows. And you can see these are some cool looking arrows. Each one has a name.
You named the arrows. How novel.
Yeah, it's for those that are blessed with the spite of revenge, that want to kill someone with the arrow that has the person's name on it. So I went around town and pulled the most likely to be murdered in their sleep by arrow. Turns out, Speaker Noro, I've got about 7 of him, and he holds them up, and they're like paper dolls. Has Noro. That was the guy with the mustache.
That is some dark shit.
So you have any Blanches in there?
It's our times. I'd been working on fabricating one. Oh, he realizes he just told that to Blanche. And he's like, now, the one with your name on it, my fair lady, has already struck my heart. But the wound will heal in time. And he goes, rough crowd, but I'm working on the material.
0
And the gnome,
points.
drums in the back. Everything's better with a little beat behind it. You can tell this guy is like, there's a reason why they put the smithy a little outside of town.
Uh-huh.
Not appreciating my time. 20 years from now, they'll be casting magic mouth spells, repeating my greatest hits.
I sidle up to the gnome. Do you enjoy working for this guy?
He's one of the only people in town that pays, and I got a family.
That's fair enough.
Well, I guess we're interested in those wares, or at least I am. Other people apparently have better equipment already.
I whisper to you, Delir.
Shiny bracers.
We have the that giant greatsword. Do you want to see if you can trade it for something you can use?
That is an excellent idea. Since we probably don't want to give it to the zombie.
All right. I ask for the powder room, and then I go in and open the portal up and drag out the greatsword and come out of the bathroom with a giant greatsword.
It's not giant. That's just a normal greatsword.
It's a great sword. It's very nicely made.
It's pretty giant.
He sees that and he's like, Asterian sin metal, and he's just kind of like, you can tell this is something he maybe heard stories from his grandfather, who is also like a blacksmith, and like he's very well studied and he's an artiste. He goes, where did you find this replica of a great sword made from? He's trying.
It's not a replica, and you keep what you kill.
And I killed the suitor that was going to try and woo me with it.
Blanche, you're putting it on a little heavy.
It is quite heavy, and I drop it on the counter. Now help the lady.
All right. By what honorific do you prefer to be called?
I don't give me an honorific. My name is Doliris. I'm not fancy.
Doliris. And that's when Deet and Tobias go, you could kiss her boot first. They kind of look over at like, they're like, approval? Is this what we do with them?
That won't be necessary. But thank you for the thought.
Only if she consents to it, they say. Then they kind of scuttle off. He's like,
that's a much better answer.
Lizard
One
folk?
of them is a yuan tea, and they're delightful.
And they're kind of trying to figure this out, and they're like, huh, you don't say. Well, Doliris, what will you be needing? Like give me.
Well, first I would like a chain shirt, and then maybe a no, shield's not a thing.
How fancy a chain shirt?
What's the fanciest chain shirt you got?
He kind of snaps his fingers. The gnome runs from Bope over and jumps and pulls the other curtain. You can see he has a delightful assortment of chain shirts. But there's a very fancy one, and he's like, for 400 gold, you could have that chain shirt.
And what's fancy about that chain shirt?
He takes the great sword, and it's big, and you can tell he gives it a few swings, and he's like, oh, sweet, good golly, and you want to trade this, or you want money for it?
Well, none of us can use it, so it's for trade now. Yeah,
I think trade and money.
I can
Possibly.
technically use it.
Yeah, he's
but
like, none of you
it's-
can or just choose not to, and kind of motions over to Rennie, and he goes, because that guy looks like he can. And then, he does this like weird like Jedi spin move thing with it off to the side. The gnome ducks, and he's like, this is a great weapon.
It's the wrong color. It really doesn't match any of our outfits.
That is true. That is true.
There are a few things that do, milady. And he tips his fedora, then realizes he's overstepping his bounds again. Then he's like, he goes, sorry, I was regurgitating. And then looks, you can tell she's probably cast 1 or 2 spells on him, and she's just kind of like his false Quentin. She's like, I don't even feel bad. And they're like, so money for something like this, I'd be willing to give you I'd be willing to trade the chain shirt in one of my fancy clubs. And he pulls out like a war hammer.
I don't want a warhammer. What am I going to do with a warhammer? I'm a cleric.
You'll put it through people's heads. I don't.
No, I
look,
won't.
I don't know you. I don't know the tenets of your faith. And that's when Deet and Tobias kind of sidle up to him on either side. We'll teach you. And like Tobias wraps his snake neck around him, and then like Deet kind of like places his teeth, right on his soft part of his side. He's like, ah, and you can tell he's never been so uncomfortable in his life.
What about a mighty fine shield instead of a warhammer?
I go like, I guess I could do a shield. And he tosses the warhammer, which lands with a mighty thud and like the sound of thunder, like cloud goes off when it hits the ground. He's like, shield. Is there any particular shape you like?
And I show him my old one, which is a pretty simple wooden shield. Round is fine. Just need it to cover my ass.
Ass shield. Got it. And then he goes on the back, and he comes up. There's like a magnificent buckler, which goes on the elbow. But he goes, "I'll throw this in the chain shirt in exchange for this sword." He says it like sword.
And this is an upgrade. Just want to make sure I'm getting what we're sort of paying for.
Yeah, so it'll be a +1 shield and a +1 chain shirt. They're both considered magical for this purpose.
Fantastic.
I think that's a pretty good deal.
+1 and +1 makes +2.
I'm all about it.
I can math.
Big up.
So with that, and he kind of looks, he goes, now, y'all aren't fixing to head up to that keep, are you? He says suspiciously, and his eyes kind of hit the false Blanche. And with that, unfortunately, we are out of time for today's session as we end on a bartering cliffhanger. No, there were a couple potential cliffhangers, and I was like, well, if they're gonna barter, then that's perfectly okay. So we thank everyone so much for watching today. Truly, I really enjoy playing with the Velkyn Weave each week. But before we go for the evening, Tom, why don't you let us know how we're doing on those goals?
Sure thing. A huge thank you to everyone. We're already halfway to the supporter goal, and we've exceeded the monthly Tavern upkeep goal by over 120%. Subs and Tavern upkeep allows the Games Tavern to upgrade the productions and make better shows for you. So your bits, cheers, means you believe in this great content, and much love to you all for that support. Thank you. Over to Jeff.
Sylvanus has spoken to me and given me direction to recognize some of our regular Patreon supporters. Harper Jean and Veritas 23. May the light grow bright for you and all of your patronage and support. Great behind-the-scenes content on the Games Tavern Patreon can be had by all who choose to join our groups on their journeys. The deities have deemed it worthy to provide content for all to enjoy on Wednesdays and Fridays.
Y'all, don't forget to subscribe to the Games Tavern YouTube channel. Liking and commenting on the videos helps us a great bit and gets the word out about the show. Makes a huge difference in what we can bring to you as the show grows.
Like everybody says it, but it's actually true.
Really does.
Yeah. So
Don't
thanks
thank
for
you.
watching tonight.
Don't forget to hit the bell icon.
Thank
Ring that
you.
bell.
Ding, ding, ding.
Have a good night.
See you next week, folks.
See ya.
Bye.